You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
Most writers and radio show hosts know that to connect with your fans, you need to do more than just write books or record the latest podcasts. There are many different elements that go into forming an online platform, but there are also many hidden traps. To make matters worse, solid advice on how to survive the muddy waters is scarce. In the book Hidden Traps, I talk about some of the important issues of working with an online platform, highlighting traps that could put your physical or internet security at risk, or be harmful to your reputation. Are your social media posts just links with a few disjointed words, making you look like someone who can't complete a sentence? Did your new website cost you more than you anticipated? Are you leaking your personal contact details across the web without even knowing it? Then you need Hidden Traps. Hidden Traps is now available in paperback and ebook from a variety of retailers, including Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Kobo. Visit blackwolfpublications.com for more details.
Do you need a car? Been shopping only to be turned down because of bad credit, low credit, no credit, bankruptcy, or divorce? Guess what? Today's your lucky day, because now you can buy a car, truck, or SUV, just about any vehicle. It's true. Bad credit doesn't matter. No credit doesn't matter. Bankruptcy or divorce, it just doesn't matter. As a matter of fact, your job is your ticket to your new vehicle. We're Auto Credit Express, and we've helped thousands of people just like you. Antonio H. told us, great company, got me connected, and the day I went in, I drove off in the car I wanted. 100% worth your time. Need a car? Get started now and drive off as early as today. Just text FINANCE, FINANCE, to 357-911 right now to get started. That's FINANCE, FINANCE, to 357-911. Auto financing the easy way. Text FINANCE to 357-911.
KLRN Radio has advertising rates available. We have rates to fit almost any budget. Contact us at advertising@klrnradio.com.
Everyone loves liberty. Our rights come from God, not the government. So why are you letting other people tell you what's best for your health care? Exercise your freedom with Liberty Health Share. Liberty Health Share is a community of people who voluntarily share one another's medical costs. Liberty Health Share is founded on the idea that most people truly want to help one another. Healthcare sharing allows members to do just that as a true community that supports one another in times of need. Liberty believes people should make decisions for themselves and their families. Members are able to take back the freedom to make their own decisions about their health care. Freedom from guilt or doubt about how your money is used. You have the freedom to direct your health care, not to be dictated to by bureaucrats. Stop letting others tell you what to do and join a community of like-minded people. Exercise your freedom. Join Liberty Health Share and take back the control of your health care while helping those around you. Call Liberty at 855-58-LIBERTY. Again, that's 855-58-LIBERTY for more information, or you can check them out at libertyhealthshare.org. Again, that's libertyhealthshare.org.
My son was in the Army back during Desert Storm, but even then he wanted an MBA. He looked at a dozen schools, but only one offered the online education and flexibility he needed while he was in a tent in Iraq. Grantham University. Turns out that Grantham's been delivering affordable, relevant college and advanced degrees for over 65 years. Heck, if they can deliver a quality education to a soldier in a tent overseas, think about the flexibility Grantham can offer you so you can earn your degree too. It doesn't matter how complicated or full your life is. If getting a degree is on your bucket list, you'll want to do what my son did. You'll want to call Grantham. Find out how easy it is to get started on your education so you can check that college degree off your bucket list. Call Grantham right now, 800-910-1370. That's 800-910-1370. Flexible, affordable, relevant. Call 800-910-1370.
At St. Jude, a family never sees a bill at all. It's like the world has been lifted off of your shoulders.
St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Finding cures. Saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
Sometimes riders feel lost, unsure why a passage may not be working. It takes another set of eyes to help us nurture our writing into full maturity. At Black Wolf Editorial Services, we strive to enable writers to develop and grow, offering manuscript critiques and line edits through a mentoring editorial style. We also offer assistance on generating a writer's bio for your websites. Black Wolf Editorial Services, nurturing your writing into maturity. For a full list of services, visit blackwolfeditorial.com.
You're listening to the Spark Radio Network, internet radio like you've never heard before. Innovation, creativity, and imagination are all said to begin with a spark. So fasten your seatbelt and take the ride of your life and listen for the spark. It's time now for the Conservative Curmudgeon Radio Show. Now, here's Grouchy.
All right, welcome. Good to be back with you. I hope you tuned in last week where we debuted our new show, Toxic Masculinity, with yours truly, the man behind the buttons tonight, Rowdy Rick, and the man who will be on with Politibunny in the next hour, Orty Packard. That's our new little concept show that we're going to be working on. We're going to try to do that the last Wednesday of every month. In this time slot, and just a little something to have some different fun with, and we hope you'll join us. I know it's early February still, but the end of the month, we'll be doing another show in just 3 weeks, right, Rick? 3 weeks from now.
Yep, 3 weeks from now, we're doing another one.
So I'll be putting a poll out to see what workout plan everybody's interested in. We did shoulders last month to debut on the show. That's my contribution. We'll work through a whole big body part thing, and we'll eventually have workouts for your entire body. But we'll have some other fun too. But it's not just about that. It's about everything that's masculine, and it's about everything that the third wave feminists consider toxic about men.
Wait, hang on. For your entire body, you say? Now I'm intrigued.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, you got to work all the muscle groups, right? You can't just work one or two.
Well, I think I took that somewhere you didn't mean to.
Oh, well, that's okay. I mean, you got to work that muscle too. But we don't have barbells for that. Well, I mean, I guess some guys might, the Prince Albert look, but that's not for me. I prefer to know where I have to take a leak and where it's going to go. But anyway, yeah, I heard the crickets. And, it's just all good. It's fun. It's something different. Join us. After me tonight, as I mentioned, Orty Packard will join the starlet, the diva, Politibunny for Foobar. And then they will be followed by Rowdy Rick with America Off the Rails. I'm assuming we're doing America Off the Rails tonight, yes?
Si, senor.
Si, senor. He's back in the saddle. Okay, so that is your Wednesday night on KLRN Radio. It is your triple play, your trifecta, your triumvirate, if you will, of conservative talk. As Orty likes to say, the fastest 3 hours in conservative talk radio. But anyway, in case you can't tell, I'm fighting off some kind of sinus or respiratory infection or something like that. My voice is cracking and breaking up. My head is stuffy. Please bear with
SARS,
me.
Run.
Huh?
I said he's got SARS. Run.
He's got SARS. Yeah. I think I've been exposed to patient zero. I'm not quite certain, but it's possible. And anyway, we're going to push through this hour tonight, and we're going to hope for the best over the next 7 days so that next week is a lot better. And with that in mind, what's been going on? Anything newsworthy happening?
Well, you know, I mean,
I've been hearing a whole lot.
Yeah, I mean, there was this whole State of the Union thing that nobody's talking about.
State of the Union. Oh, I guess we should talk about that a little bit. You know, we had President Trump give the State of the Union, and again, it was a little later than where we thought it would fall, but he got to deliver it. And he absolutely owned the political left last night. Absolutely owned them. There are some media outlets that would interpret it differently, but if you listen to anybody that is honest, that's willing to call balls and strikes, he owned them. And it wasn't even funny. It was ridiculous how bad he owned them. Had them on their feet chanting USA, USA. And then he turns around and he pulls the rug on them after he gets them so excited that they can't even believe what happened. He's got them chanting USA, USA, USA. And then he turns around and says, and we have to stop late-term abortion. And it was just like, you would think somebody stuck a hand through their breastbone in between their ribs and twisted their heart and pulled it right back out the same hole and showed it to them before they fell over. It was unbelievable. You had, and look, for all the fun we have with AOC, okay, you have to understand something. She is in a district of New York that she is the model of their citizenry. They love her. They relate to her. She relates to them. She's going to be around, is what I'm saying. She's going to be dangerous. And she's already dangerous. Just thank God that right now she still doesn't know her way around how to get anything done. And she's making more of a fool of herself. But believe me, she's not a dummy. She's not a dummy. And she is going to be dangerous in the future. And I've said that before. We need to keep an eye on her. But all that aside, and for whatever reason, if you're in the Spreaker chat right now, thank you for being there. I wish I could get logged in to see you, but for some reason it's not taking my credentials to log in. I'm going to try again during the break at the bottom of the hour. And we're just going to see what we can do with that as we have to. Oh, God. Killing me. Anyway, State of the Union speech. So, you know, President Trump, of course, used the biggest stage in politics. And he put out a message of unity. I mean, he put out a large message of unity last night to a badly splintered country. And at the same time, he took his adversaries to task. Now, the State of the Union addresses rarely change the overarching political environment of the day. But Trump's speech had its moments. And I'm going to point out a few of those moments to you that I thought were pretty significant. So, first up, and not necessarily in order of importance or anything like that, the stop the hearings. So, you know, after he reeled off a list of positive economic statistics, Trump added this quote, "An economic miracle is taking place in the United States, and the only thing that can stop it are foolish wars, politics, or ridiculous partisan investigations. If there is going to be peace and legislation, there cannot be war and investigation. It just doesn't work that way. Now, let me just go out on a limb here, okay? The president's going to find some common ground with Democrats on the war issue. There's no doubt about it, okay? But there is absolutely no way in hell the Democrats are going to ease up on the oversight hearings in the House. They have been out of power for 8 years, and they just got the gavel back. There is no way they let up on that gas pedal. The pent-up demand to exercise their authority would have guaranteed a flood of hearings under normal circumstances. Now, the animosity Trump inspires is only going to fuel that fire even more. So, confirm. Trump called for national unity and offered a suggestion as to where they might begin. This new era of cooperation can start with finally confirming the more than 300 highly qualified nominees who are still stuck in the Senate, in some cases, years and years of waiting. It's not right, he said. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, aka Mother Goose, likes to say that the Senate is in the personnel business. Well, that's because hundreds of federal government officials require the quote-unquote advice and consent of the Senate. And that does not even include federal judges appointed for life. So with the House in Democrat hands, the chances of significant advances to the Republican agenda are basically zilch. It's nothing. So given that, the biggest thing that could happen for the conservative agenda for the next 2 years is if Mitch McConnell did a retooling of the Senate and just turned it into a full-time judicial confirmation process. Because I can promise you that that's exactly what the Democrats are going to do on their side of the House. It's going to be a full-time investigative process. The Democrats know they can't get anything through the Senate. The Senate knows they're not going to get anything through the House. So why not just gear up and do all that you can do without the other? Just a thought. Mercy in the justice system. The First Step Act, which Trump signed into law last year, might be the president's most significant bipartisan achievement. The effort brought together an odd bedfellows alliance of fiscally conservative Republicans and liberal advocates of criminal justice reform. Trump made maximum use of the moment, pointing to Alice Johnson, whose sentence he commuted after lobbying by reality television star Kim Kardashian West. And that pains me to even say that on one of my programs, just mentioning her name. But Alice was there last night for the State of the Union, and Trump called her a terrific woman. And Trump thanked her for reminding us that we always have the power to shape our own destiny. Now, as President Trump spoke, Johnson wiped away tears. It was one of the most touching moments of the night. Now, one of the night's lighter moments came as Trump was touting his record on economic opportunities for women. He said 58% of the jobs created during his administration have gone to women. That prompted freshman Democratic women in the chamber, many who were all dressed in white, to honor the women's suffrage movement. And here I thought they were just showing solidarity for Ralph Northam. To stand and start applauding and gesturing to indicate that some of those jobs had gone to them by virtue of their election. Trump said, "Don't sit yet. You're going to like this." He said, "We have more women serving in Congress than at any time before." He said, "That's great, really great, and congratulations." And if you listen to Pelosi after the State of the Union speech, that completely took her by surprise. Absolutely took her by surprise. And she was flabbergasted to even come up with words to say that made sense. Of course, that's not really different than most any other night with Pelosi, but, there it is. Now, the speech's harshest attack, and presidents do not often attack other politicians as starkly as Trump did Virginia Governor Ralph Northam. The governor has faced calls for his resignation since his medical school yearbook surfaced, showing pictures of a man in blackface with a man wearing a Klan hood on his page. Now, Trump did not mention that controversy, but basically accused Northam of endorsing murder. The quote, and then we had the case of the Virginia governor where he stated that he would execute a baby after birth. And that was in reference to a radio interview in which Northam said that if a baby were born alive during a late-term abortion procedure, the child would be, quote, resuscitated if that's what the mother and family desired. Now, listen to what he's saying. If the baby is born alive during an abortion procedure. So this is a child that is actually born. Not one that comes out not breathing. We're talking about a living, breathing child here that's delivered. This is a baby. This is a human. And they say they might make efforts to resuscitate it if that's what the mother and family want. That's disgusting. These late-term abortions, these babies feel pain. So save all of the stupid arguments. Okay, I believe it should be outlawed altogether. But I'm willing to take a baby step and cut it off at the 20-week mark. Northam and his supporters undoubtedly would dispute Trump's characterization. It's hard to think of another time during a State of the Union speech in which a president accused a domestic politician of supporting the execution of innocent lives. But that's exactly what it was. And, as disgusting as it is, we'll get into the Klan hood and the blackface a little later. But, I mean, just that one statement by Northam that he would actually allow a baby born alive to die or not resuscitate it is disgusting. And he should resign over that. I couldn't personally give a damn whether he's a bigot or not. That's his personal choice to make. I think it's a disgusting choice, but I don't really care. Talking about killing innocent lives, though, I care about that. Okay, so what was next up? Some people called it the immigration flip-flop. In calling for increased border security, Trump attempted to draw a bright line between legal and illegal immigration, which is what he's been saying all along. It's just that people don't want to hear it. Legal immigrants enrich our nation and strengthen our society in countless ways, he said. I want people to come into our country in the largest numbers ever, but they have to come in legally. What's the problem with this? Why is following our law a problem? It was an ad-lib departure from the prepared text. It also as some are screaming and saying, it directly contradicts his own record. He endorsed the Reforming American Immigration for Strong Employment, or RAISE Act, which would severely curtail legal immigration, according to some. I don't believe that, though, because what it would do is it would basically usher in merit-based immigration, and we would actually start to see a more self-reliant immigrant coming to the United States instead of people that are looking to sponge. Now, I'm not saying that every illegal that comes into our country is looking to sponge, but you know that a lot of them are. Just like a lot of people that live here in the United States are sponging off the system. It's disgusting, and the welfare state needs to come to an end, and that'll take care of a lot of that. And just like the president touted last night, over 5 million people have already been lifted off the food stamp rolls. It's a good start. It's a great start. We need to get more. We need to get more. I don't even remember. We did a segment on food stamps a while back, and I can't remember how many people were actually receiving food stamps in the United States. But I'll tell you what, I'm going to try to find out real quick. Anyway, while that's coming up, bam. 13% of the population. Okay, I don't know what that relates to off the top of my head. What's 13%? Okay, 42 million people. 42 million people in 2017. We lifted 5 million off of that, so we've got 37 million left. You know what? We can do better. We can do better. That 37 million is it's a little better than 10%. There's no reason we can't have this number down into the single digits, and I mean like mid-single digits, 6%, 7% maybe. We can do this. We can do this. As a country, we can do this. So, look, we're going to do a quick story here before we get to the bottom of the hour. In Mumbai, India, there is they're calling him a man. I'm going to call him a moron. There's a moron who intends to sue his parents for bringing him into the world when he did not ask to exist. Yeah, me too, Rick. Me too. So this guy says he loves his parents. This guy's name is Raphael Samuel. It doesn't sound much like a Hindu name to me, but okay. Whatever. I don't care. He says, I love my parents and we have a great relationship, but they had me for their joy and their pleasure. And he plans to take his parents to court for giving birth to him without his consent. My life has been amazing, he said, but I don't see why I should put another life through the rigmarole of school and finding a career, especially when they didn't ask to exist. Okay, see, now he's already conflating his story here because he's talking about whether he should bring a life into the world and go through what he's went through. So this guy is a believer of what is known as antinatalism. He's 27 years old, and he subscribes to the philosophy that having a child means forcing life on another human being without their consent. I bet you there are a lot of babies that die on the tables of Planned Parenthood that wish somebody would force life on them. What do you think about that?
That's insanity, if you ask me.
Yeah, exactly. He says that other people must know that it's not an option, or that it is an option not to have children, and to ask your parents for an explanation as to why they gave birth to you. Okay, so, dude, don't have kids. Your parents opted to have kids. But now listen, there's a growing tribe of these child-free proponents. They don't realize that, I mean, I don't think they understand what they're advocating. But apparently they actually do, because Seymour included in the notes here that they actually call themselves the Voluntary Human Extinction Movement. They want to wipe out mankind through non-procreation. They're trying to set up a national level organization to spread awareness about child-free living in India. It's unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. They have been nicknamed Stop Making Babies. That's just stupid. That's not a nickname. Seymour, is that right? He's shaking his head yes as he slobbers over Steakum in the corner. So according to their leader, Pratima Nik, the movement is about spreading awareness rather than imposing their beliefs on others. More people need to consider why having a child in the world right now isn't right. Yeah, but if you don't have any now, when is it ever going to be right? Aside from not succumbing to societal pressure to reproduce and easing the strain on the planet's resources, Pratima added that another reason to join the movement is the fact that there are plenty of children in need of adoption. Okay, now this part I will buy. And I have argued that we need to make adoption cheaper and easier in the United States. So that part I'll buy into. They've taken up to setting up social media pages to spread the word about the child-free philosophy. They thought about whether our world was a conducive place for bringing up a child, and they decided that it's not. And they have a YouTube channel, actually, that has 1,500 subscribers already, which is, hell, as many as I have. But I don't even have a YouTube channel, so there you go. Anyway, we're bottom of the hour. We're going to take a little break. I'm going to get some fluid down my throat and hopefully right my voice a little bit. And when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit about jobs, and we're going to talk about Virginia. And what else are we going to talk about? I don't have a damn clue. I haven't. Oh, yeah, we're going to do an update to a story we covered before. So stay tuned. We got plenty to talk about still. We'll be back in about 3.
My son was in the Army back during Desert Storm, but even then he wanted an MBA. He looked at a dozen schools, but only one offered the online education and flexibility he needed while he was in a tent in Iraq. Grantham University. Turns out that Grantham's been delivering affordable, relevant college and advanced degrees for over 65 years. Heck, if they can deliver a quality education to a soldier in a tent overseas, think about the flexibility Grantham can offer you so you can earn your degree too. It doesn't matter how complicated or full your life is. If getting a degree is on your bucket list, you'll want to do what my son did. You'll want to call Grantham. Find out how easy it is to get started on your education so you can check that college degree off your bucket list. Call Grantham right now. 800-910-1370. That's 800-910-1370. Flexible, affordable, relevant. Call 800-910-1370.
Attention business owners and independent contractors. This is a money-saving message from Tax Mediation Services. If your business owes $20,000 or more in taxes, we can help you today, right now. Listen, dealing with the IRS is no picnic. It's an intimidating and extremely stressful process, and you don't want to go it alone. Our attorneys know every law, every tax break, and every possible opportunity to help you resolve and reduce your tax debt. And if you owe more than $20,000, you may be at the top of their hit list. So don't take your tax debt lightly, because it will not go away on its own. The IRS can seize your bank accounts, your home, and even shut down your business. Call our tax experts today at 1-800-783-0810 and let us deal with the IRS while you focus on your business. That's 1-800-783-0810. Again, that's 800-783-0810.
Whether we realize it or not, everyone has been impacted by addiction. We all have family members, we all have friends that have faced this demon. But there's hope. There's hope in recovery. There's hope when we work together to rise above the plight of addiction. I'd like you to join Mac Mullings every Saturday from 2 to 4 p.m. on Rise Above Radio on KOKC 1520 AM, where they talk about the hope that is available to all of us.
All right, welcome back. We'll see how long the voice lasts this time around before I have to take another drink. But let's see. We left off coming into the next story. We didn't have to break in the middle. One of the other things Trump touched on during the State of the Union speech was manufacturing jobs. And manufacturing jobs increased by 13,000 in January, hitting an 11-year high of 12,822,000, according to Bureau of Labor Statistics. So manufacturing jobs are looking great in this country. And if you remember going even back before Trump became president, during the campaign season for that election, there was a speech made. I can't even remember the guy's name that made it. We have the audio clip. We're going to play it here, but just take a listen to this.
But for those folks who've lost their job right now because a plant went down to Mexico, that isn't going to make you feel better. And so what we have to do is to make sure that folks are trained for the jobs that are coming in now, because some of those jobs of the past are just not going to come back. And when somebody says, like the person you just mentioned, who I'm not going to advertise for, that he's going to bring all these jobs back, well, how exactly are you going to do that? What are you going to do? There's no answer to it. He just says, well, I'm going to negotiate a better deal. Well, how exactly are you going to negotiate that? What magic wand do you have? And usually the answer is he doesn't have an answer.
Yeah.
So
that's right. That's
apparently there was music at the end of that clip. I apologize.
No, that was good. I like that. I appreciate you adding that on. look, how are you going to renegotiate that? What leverage do you have to renegotiate it with? Well, here's the leverage. We just pull out of the treaty and you're screwed. You either deal with us or you're screwed. There's your negotiation, just like that. And because of that, manufacturing jobs have increased by 261,000 over the last year, with more than 4/5 of the gain in the durable goods industries. These are washing machines, dishwashers, refrigerators, things of that nature. Durable goods, things that last a long time, things you don't buy month to month or even year to year. But look, over the month, job gains occurred in durable goods plus 20,000, while employment in non-durable goods changed a little, but it went down 7,000. Manufacturing employment, again, 261,000 over the year. The last time there were more manufacturing jobs in the United States was December of 2008. That month, the nation had 12,850,000 manufacturing jobs. But now, bear with me here, okay? Because the next month, almost 300,000 of those jobs dropped to 12,561,000. So 289,000 jobs lost in 1 month from December 2008 to January 2009. Now, since December of 2016, the last month before Trump took office, the United States has added 467,000 manufacturing jobs, with employment in manufacturing rising from 12.355 million to 12.822 million. Manufacturing jobs in the United States peaked in June of 1979 when they hit 19,553,000, sorry. Medicine's starting to make my head float. Even at the current 11-year high, there are still 6.731 million fewer manufacturing jobs in this country than were at the peak in 79. Now, there's a lot of factors that go into that. You've got companies going overseas, going cross borders to work where it's cheaper. You've got a lot of automation that's come into play. And, there are factors. We will probably never see 19.5 million manufacturing jobs again. We could, it's possible, but I just don't see it happening. But that was another good thing from the State of the Union last night, and I don't think it got quite the attention in the media that it should have. Now, we touched earlier on Governor Ralph Northam of Virginia and the issues that he's having right now. But in the calls for him to resign, if he were to resign, the lieutenant governor would take the seat of governor. Well, we've got a problem in Virginia because the lieutenant governor is now accused of sexual assault. Now, is it true? Is it untrue? I don't know. I wasn't there. But here's what I do know. I know that Democrats were not willing to give Associate Supreme Court Justice Brett Kavanaugh any benefit of any doubt. They set the rules for this. And I say we play by their rules. Do I really? No, I don't really. I think the man, if he's being accused of a sexual crime, should have his day in court. I really do. I really do. But look, it it gives me a little bit of pleasure. And it should give everybody just a little bit of pleasure to see the Democrats trying to walk this back now, because that's what they're doing. They're absolutely floundering. They don't know what to say. Most of them want to avoid the topic altogether, including, presidential candidates Cory Booker and Elizabeth Warren. I don't know. I haven't seen a clip where they asked Kamala Harris about it yet. But most of them are just trying to avoid it altogether. But now we have the next ranking official in the state of Virginia, the Attorney General, admitting that he wore blackface in the 80s. So we've got a blackface governor, a blackface Attorney General, and we've got a lieutenant governor who's forcing women to perform oral sex acts on him, allegedly. And Virginia is just a mess. A mess. And all this stems from one thing. It stems from the last governor of Virginia accepting a gift. Now, should he have accepted it? Here nor there. I don't know what the laws are. I definitely know he should have at least declared it. But look, the Democrats rallied on this guy being crooked. They rallied on the opponent being a racist. And this is the best part. They offered no evidence of Ed Gillespie being a racist. None. They just accused him of it over and over and over. They beat it through everybody's head. He's a racist. He's a racist. He's a racist. I'm sure by now somebody has gone through Ed Gillespie's college yearbook and high school yearbook and has been looking for any kind of photos that might, at least give Northam and a chance to point his finger and say, see, he really was. But we haven't seen that yet. Now, today's development accelerated a controversy that's dragged since the weekend and has put Virginia leadership under an intense nationwide spotlight. In 1980, the Attorney General, what is the guy's name here? Mark Herring, that's his name, Mark Herring. In 1980, when I was a 19-year-old undergraduate in college, some friends suggested we attend a party dressed like rappers that we listened to at the time and perform a song. So Herring is suggesting that he went to this party basically costumed in blackface to be Curtis Blow. Curtis would kick his ass. Even today, Curtis would kick his ass. Oh, that's hilarious. And this guy Herring has previously said that he intends to run for governor in 2021. How about that? Hey, Virginia could have back-to-back blackface governors. It sounds ridiculous even writing it now because of our ignorance and glib attitudes, and because we did not have an appreciation for the experiences and perspective of others. We dressed up, we put on wigs and brown makeup. This was a one-time occurrence, and I accept full responsibility for my conduct, he said. He previously urged Northam to resign and said that honest conversation would make it clear whether he can continue his own job. He said that he has shame from this incident and it has haunted him for decades. No, it hasn't. No, you forgot about it for decades is what it is. But he also lists his efforts to empower communities of color by working for equality in the state's criminal justice and electoral systems and fighting for equal access to health care. but it's cool, blood. You got it covered, right? Yeah. Little purple drink. Just chill out. Let this all blow over. Yeah. He says from the bottom of his heart that he is deeply, deeply sorry. So he's twice as deeply sorry for the pain that I caused with this revelation. The revelation that he's a bigot. Northam said he's not going to resign. And on Tuesday, he resumed governing, signing a $750 million Amazon incentive package and issuing a statement mourning the death of a state trooper. Now, Northam's staff has been meeting with him since this incident began, and even through them, he's having a hard time getting support to stay on. And you can understand why. I mean, it's just absolutely ridiculous. But, you know, if this were a Republican, can you imagine what would be going on in Virginia right now? There would be crowds at the state capitol with torches and pitchforks and who knows what else they might bring. You know, look, Steve Scalise was shot just for being a Republican playing softball, baseball, whatever. Can you imagine what might happen to a Republican governor who was revealed to have dressed in blackface 30 years ago? But this guy, he intends to keep his job. Yeah, he doesn't care. Damn the optics. But I guess that would open the door for the Attorney General to run in 2021. So again, you know, you never know what you're going to get. So on Friday, Governor Northam apologized for being in the photo. And then on Saturday, he walked it back saying he was not pictured. So, you know, we still don't even know what the hell is going on with this thing. It's just ridiculous. He's been under heavy pressure from both sides to just resign and bow out. And his close friend, State Senator Richard Stewart, said he talked to Northam on Tuesday and believes that the governor wants to remain in office and face this head on. If I were a Republican looking to run for governor in Virginia, I would bludgeon the Democrats of Virginia for a year and a half with this leading up to the next election. They would not get a moment's peace. I would take out billboards. I would start campaigning TV commercials with the photograph in it that would be burned, etched into the minds of every possible Virginian. I would take road tours out with giant blown up photographs of the Northam picture, of the other guys, what's his name again? Herring, and the Herring picture too. I mean, I would bludgeon them with this. It'd be to the point where people couldn't even stand to look at it anymore. So the Lieutenant Governor Fairfax, who happens to be a Black American, issued a statement Wednesday saying it was important to listen to anyone who comes forward with claims of sexual misconduct or harassment, which is quite in contrast to what he said Monday night, as the reporter from MSNBC put on their site after the meeting ended. He was quoted as saying, and Rick, you'll have to correct me if I step over the line here, but I'm under the impression I can say this now. He said, "Fuck that bitch." I mean, those were his words. He said, "Fuck that bitch." So his accuser, Vanessa Tyson, is a political science professor at Scripps College in California. She issued a statement saying she met Fairfax at the 2004 DNC in Boston, said they chatted from time to time, and at one point Fairfax invited her to go with him to his hotel room to pick up documents. What began as consensual kissing quickly turned into sexual assault, she said. in the statement issued by her lawyers. She said he physically forced her to perform oral sex. Now, again, did it happen? Did it not happen? I don't know. I don't like these many years later accusations, point blank. Now, I'm going to cut that story off right there because this one I needed to update. We've covered this story almost from the beginning. If you're a longtime listener, thank you. You're going to know what I'm talking about. The Department of Justice has opened an investigation into Secretary of Labor Alex Acosta's role in negotiating a controversial plea deal with a wealthy New York investor accused of molesting more than 100 underage girls in Palm Beach. The probe is in response to a request by Senator Ben Sasse, a Nebraska Republican and member of the Senate Judiciary Committee, who raised questions about the case following a series of stories in the Miami Herald. The Herald articles details how Acosta, then the U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of Florida, and other DOJ attorneys worked hand in hand with defense attorneys to cut a lenient plea deal with a multimillionaire named Jeffrey Epstein. Yeah, you remember Jeff. Sick pig. The Herald's three-part series, Perversion of Justice, was cited by Assistant Attorney General Stephen Boyd in his letter to Sasse's Office of Professional Responsibility and is going to head the investigation. OPR has now opened an investigation into allegations that department attorneys may have committed professional misconduct in the manner in which the Epstein criminal matter was resolved, wrote Boyd in a letter dated Wednesday. This is about to blow up, and I hope Jeffrey Epstein goes to jail for 50 frickin' years. Whatever he gets, it's not enough. Trust me. He's a sick, twisted pig. And on that note, I'm probably going to wind this up because, like I said, coming up next is Foobar with Polita Bunny and Orty Packard, and then after that, you get America Off the Rails with Rowdy Rick.
So hang on.
So look,
on the way out, I got one question.
Yeah, sure.
Who the fuck told you could cuss on the fucking radio on this fucking station? There, now I don't feel left out.
I'll be fucked if I know. Anyway, okay. So now we got our quota in. It's up to Foo and Orty to settle the score, as it were. So do yourself a favor. Stay tuned. You got a couple of great hours of radio coming at you. I'm just the warm-up act, folks. Trust me. I'm just the warm-up. But hey, look, I'm here every Wednesday. Join us, and don't forget the last Wednesday of every month now, Toxic Masculinity with Rick, Orty, and me. And if you like the show, tell your friends. If your friends like the show, you need new ones. But you can join them here with me every week. I'm your host, Grouch. Peace.
I hate this place. Nothing works here. The medications don't work. I've been here for 7 years.
Here's to us, here's to love, all the times that we messed up. Here's to you, feel the grass, 'cause the last few nights have kicked my ass. If they give you hell, tell them go fuck themselves. Go fuck themselves. Here's to us, here's to us.
Crap, wrong button. We're out, folks. See you later. I screwed up. Whether we realize it or not, everyone has been impacted by addiction. We all have family members. We all have friends that have faced this demon. But there's hope. There's hope in recovery. There's hope when we work together to rise above the plight of addiction. I'd like you to join Mac Mullings every Saturday from 2 to 4 p.m. on Rise Above Radio on KOKC 1520 AM, where they talk about the hope that is available to all of us.
My son was in the Army back during Desert Storm, But even then, he wanted an MBA. He looked at a dozen schools, but only one offered the online education and flexibility he needed while he was in a tent in Iraq. Grantham University. Turns out that Grantham's been delivering affordable, relevant college and advanced degrees for over 65 years. Heck, if they can deliver a quality education to a soldier in a tent overseas, think about the flexibility Grantham can offer you so you can earn your degree too. It doesn't matter how complicated or full your life is. If getting a degree is on your bucket list, you'll want to do what my son did. You'll want to call Grantham. Find out how easy it is to get started on your education so you can check that college degree off your bucket list. Call Grantham right now. 800-910-1370. That's 800-910-1370. Flexible, affordable, relevant. Call 800-910-1370.
Attention business owners and independent contractors. This is a money-saving message from Tax Mediation Services. If your business owes $20,000 or more in taxes, we can help you today, right now. Listen, dealing with the IRS is no picnic. It's an intimidating and extremely stressful process, and you don't want to go it alone. Our attorneys know every law, every tax break, and every possible opportunity to help you resolve and reduce your tax debt. And if you owe more than $20,000, you may be at the top of their hit list. So don't take your tax debt lightly, because it will not go away on its own. The IRS can seize your bank accounts, your home, and even shut down your business. Call our tax experts today at 1-800-783-0810 and let us deal with the IRS while you focus on your business. That's 1-800-783-0810. Again, that's 800-783-0810.
You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
Most writers and radio show hosts know that to connect with your fans, you need to do more than just write books or record the latest podcasts. There are many different elements that go into forming an online platform, but there are also many hidden traps. To make matters worse, solid advice on how to survive the muddy waters is scarce. In the book Hidden Traps, I talk about some of the important issues of working with an online platform, highlighting traps that could put your physical or internet security at risk or be harmful to your reputation. Are your social media posts just links with a few disjointed words, making you look like someone who can't complete a sentence? Did your new website cost you more than you anticipated? Are you leaking your personal contact details across the web without even knowing it? Then you need Hidden Traps. Hidden Traps is now available in paperback and ebook from a variety of retailers, including Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Kobo. Visit blackwolfpublications.com for more details.
Do you need a car? Been shopping only to be turned down because of bad credit, low credit, no credit, bankruptcy, or divorce? Guess what? Today's your lucky day, because now you can buy a car, truck, or SUV, just about any vehicle. It's true. Bad credit doesn't matter. No credit doesn't matter. Bankruptcy or divorce, it just doesn't matter. As a matter of fact, your job is your ticket to your new vehicle. We're Auto Credit Express, and we've helped thousands of people just like you. Antonio H. told us, great company, got me connected, and the day I went in, I drove off in the car I wanted. 100% worth your time. Need a car? Get started now and drive off as early as today. Just text FINANCE, FINANCE, to 357-911 right now to get started. That's FINANCE, FINANCE, to 357-911. Auto financing the easy way. Text FINANCE to 357-911.
KLRN Radio has advertising rates available. We have rates to fit almost any budget. Contact us at advertising@klrnradio.com.
Everyone loves liberty. Our rights come from God, not the government. So why are you letting other people tell you what's best for your healthcare? Exercise your freedom with Liberty Health Share. Liberty Health Share is a community of people who voluntarily share one another's medical costs. Liberty Health Share is founded on the idea that most people truly want to help one another. Healthcare sharing allows members to do just that as a true community that supports one another in times of need. Liberty believes people should make decisions for themselves and their families. Members are able to take back the freedom to make their own decisions about their healthcare. Freedom from guilt or doubt about how your money is used. You have the freedom to direct your healthcare, not to be dictated to by bureaucrats. Stop letting others tell you what to do and join a community of like-minded people. Exercise your freedom. Join Liberty Health Share and take back the control of your healthcare while helping those around you. Call Liberty at 855-58-LIBERTY. Again, that's 855-58-LIBERTY for more information, or you can check them out at libertyhealthshare.org. Again, that's libertyhealthshare.org.
My son was in the Army back during Desert Storm, but even then he wanted an MBA. He looked at a dozen schools, but only one offered the online education and flexibility he needed while he was in a tent in Iraq. Grantham University. Turns out that Grantham's been delivering affordable, relevant college and advanced degrees for over 65 years. Heck, if they can deliver a quality education to a soldier in a tent overseas, think about the flexibility Grantham can offer you so you can earn your degree too. It doesn't matter how complicated or full your life is. If getting a degree is on your bucket list, you'll want to do what my son did. You'll want to call Grantham. Find out how easy it is to get started on your education so you can check that college degree off your bucket list. Call Grantham right now. 800-910-1370. That's 800-910-1370. Flexible, affordable, relevant. Call 800-910-1370.
At St. Jude, a family never sees a bill at all. It's like the world has been lifted off of your shoulders.
St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Finding cures, saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
Sometimes riders feel lost, unsure why a passage may not be working. It takes another set of eyes to help us nurture our writing into full maturity. At Black Wolf Editorial Services, we strive to enable writers to develop and grow, offering manuscript critiques and line edits through a mentoring editorial style. We also offer assistance on generating a writer's bio for your websites. Black Wolf Editorial Services, nurturing your writing into maturity. For a full list of services, visit blackwolfeditorial.com.
You're listening to the Spark Radio Network, internet radio like you've never heard before. Innovation, creativity, and imagination are all said to begin with a spark. So fasten your seatbelt and take the ride of your life and listen for the spark.
Hang on a second.
Welcome to Foobar, One Nation Under Foo. I am your host, the fearless, the fireproof, the foxy, the Foo. We are coming to you live on this freaking fantastic Wednesday night from Foobar Studios on KLRNradio.com. And with me, as always, is the only Amish guy to ever bring a knife to a gunfight to even the odds, Orty Packard. Orty, how are you?
That's rake for rake fighting. Amish rake fighting.
I can't keep all your weird stuff up, and whatever.
It's how I remain opulent. No, I'm great. I'm researching how much it is to promote a tweet because Dank and I want to promote tweets for cargo short awareness. We're going to put together. We're going to do a GoFundMe for cargo short awareness tweets.
No, I'm going to put a big stop on. No,
hey, you have no say in this.
You watch me, man.
This is Foobar Studios West production here. All right.
Or the East Coast Foo over here. You're West Coast Foo on the other side, man.
West side.
On the west side, bitches. No, see, I have all this power on Twitter, so I'm going to keep you
No, that's
tweeting
Twitchy,
what you
not
want.
Twitter.
Oh
Twitchy.
no, it's everything now. Everything is my fault. Twitchy, Twitter, Facebook,
Well,
you name
everything
it.
is your fault.
Shit, it's been one of those things. I give
The
up.
following program contains coarse language and adult themes. Listener discretion is advised.
I need a wet nap.
Oh, whatever. God, give me a break. We should have a hot dude doing mine. Because, hello.
You used to. That was me.
Oh, that was... No. We need like a hot
The following program contains
good
coarse
Lord.
language and adult themes. Listener
No.
discretion is advised.
Yeah, no. See, no. We need someone like Pierce Brosnan to do that shit or something. Like some
Okay.
hot British dude, Yeah. Some chick. You guys. No, we're here. It's been a great week. It's been such a great week. Awesome week.
That's sarcasm. I'm no stranger to sarcasm.
Me, I'm never sarcastic. I'm always a ball of sunshine.
So what's going on with you, Foo?
Oh my God. Years ago, you would have thought I'd figure out that being the person who goes over the wall first, you get jacked up. Like, you should let someone else jump over that shit first so they get bloodied and then you can pop over and you're okay. But no.
You're talking to the guy who has lost 7 accounts for jumping on grenades. So,
Yeah,
yes, please go
this is
on.
me. I jump over the fence first. I'm always the one who's got to start something. I'm always the one who's got to open their big mouth. And I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. But
It's
you're
a yes
right.
thing.
I shouldn't be talking to you about this because,
Right.
you're Mr. Jump on the grenade and blow himself apart just because. I really struggle with watching people I know getting smeared and slimed and crapped on for somebody else's ego. And I really need to figure out how to separate myself from that. But me, I'm not going to do that.
Don't. It's what makes you you. It's what makes me me. This is why, Anyway.
Okay. Well, you're always suspended and people are always mad at me. Yeah. I happened to open my big mouth. I won't go into detail because I don't want to get screamed at and cried about for 3 more days. But
You mean
there was
subtweeted?
like little bitches, but I'm not going to say anything because I don't want to go into that again. But I took some issue with some actions of some folks at an organization I'm familiar with. I felt that their actions were very disrespectful of other people at their organization, and
Petulant, childish.
Something like that. And I happened to just put the whole kibosh on this idea of these people being painted as propagandists. I have a real problem with people who are finding a way to succeed and do well in an environment like this, and politically crazy environment like this. There is some real skill in being successful and doing well and managing to keep your principles without losing your damn mind, but without shitting on people who don't share your principles. And that's a gift, and that is something a lot of people get to do, and they're doing it well. And so when I saw these same people being trashed for other people's benefit, I opened my big mouth. And I pissed a bunch of people off because I guess they didn't appreciate my opinion, even though I'm very familiar with the subject matter. So me being me, 3 days of that now.
Yeah, stay in your lane, Foo.
Yeah, stay in my lane.
You don't know what you're talking about since you actually do work for the company.
But not that site. Oh my God.
Yeah, but the guy who hasn't worked there for 2 years,
right,
whatever.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm cool. I get it. I'd be a lot cooler if people weren't subtweeting little snatches, but at the same time, I get it. I'm not easy to confront sometimes. I'm not always friendly and sweet, and I can be a real pain in the ass. So
I don't know what you're talking about. I have no trouble confronting you.
Right. Nobody likes that, and I understand it. But it has been a long 3 freaking days. And it went quiet finally because people realized that it was not about them, but it took them 2 freaking days and a lot of smart, more patient people than me explaining to them that it was not about them. But, man, drama is a pain in the ass.
It is.
But, I knew I was going to ruffle feathers when I wrote the things I wrote. It's one of the things
You literally said that in the DM room before you tweeted it. So there's 3 days of you knew you were going to get it.
I knew you were going to get it.
Okay, well, let me rephrase that. You knew you were going to get it from one person. You didn't know you were going to get it from the entirety of ex-employees.
It was a movement. It's the movement. It's like a bowel movement. It was bad. And I appreciate that. I do. I understand being frustrated and being angry and feeling like it's a slight, but it was not about slighting anyone. It was about defending people who I felt had been slighted. So, neither here nor there, but it's kind of one of those things. And I think on one hand, I'm kind of like, oh, God, I'll never do that shit again. But I know I'm going to do it again.
You're going to do it again.
I'm going to. And it's just who I am.
It's
part of
like we were talking
charm.
about. Yeah, we were talking about earlier, too, that, how road beer used to be the coarse version of me and Orty has become the softened version of me.
Yeah.
But still, I've lost an Orty account. So, yeah.
I'm a lot more mellow than I used to be.
I mean, I don't go into conversations saying what autistic faggotry is this now.
No, I know.
So,
But you know what? I'm not telling people to choke on giant bags of dicks anymore. I have been really good. I have matured. I have mellowed, believe it or not. People who have known me, the 6 years I've been active in social media and politically, that is terrifying and sad, but it has been 6 years, will tell you that I'm a kinder, gentler bunny now.
I think it has more to do with Twitter TOS violations and the sliding scale of what constitutes them versus, because people are still getting banned for saying learn to code.
I never tell anybody to learn to code. Okay, I did a little bit. Okay, I did a lot. But,
in all fairness, people are saying that you're a kinder, gentler bunny because they don't want to face the end of the chainsaw.
But you know what? That's fair, but I haven't. I mean, okay, Rick, you've known me forever. We've been doing radio together for a long time. I'm a lot fucking nicer than I used to be.
Oh, I'm not disputing this fact. I just love to give you crap every time you start trying to say that you're nice.
No, but it's true. I'm a lot nicer. I used to be really unpleasant, and that's kind of why it was my thing. And I came back from my little hiatus, and I'm a more mature, sweeter rabbit and shit. But that was really I could not stay quiet about it anymore. I couldn't handle watching good people be slammed as propagandists and towing the line and treated like they don't write what they want because they're told what to write. I just couldn't deal with it. So I knew it was going to be a shitstorm. I did not expect the number of men who lost their shit at me, though. That was holy crap. Yeah. Please, guys, if you want to have a chat, tag me. Don't just shit and cry and whine about me on your timeline, because I'm just going to mock you endlessly if you do that. And
you weren't the audience.
Same goes for chat. You know what, chat? Don't mess with me. The guy who's got my picture, I'm going to find him. But see, I'm kinder and gentler.
Wait, the new old AVI?
Yeah, the pink one or whatever. People are
the one where you looked like a San Francisco barista that was about to learn how to code.
Is that what it is? Okay, my daughter is very artistic. She likes to take pictures of me because she knows that a lot of people see those avies. And she took one of me and Mom, I made you punk rock. And I had pink hair and a ring in my nose and these crazy ass anime eyeball things. But she was so proud of it. So I'm like, okay, I'll use it for a couple days. And I put it up and the reaction has been really interesting. There are some conservatives who actually really dig it, which I think is cool because I really thought people would give me a hard time. You know who really gets pissed off about it are the progressives, the left. Oh my god!
Yeah, because you're LARPing their furry heroes.
I just can't believe how angry they are at me, and so many women. Because last night after the SO2, and I knew if I went and I slammed Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, I parked a tweet again, and I do that. I knew that I would, if I called her out underneath her tweet, that I'd, kick the hornet's nest or whatever. There were so many leftist women shitting on me for having pink hair, and because my name is Bunny.
I saw a new name for her, by the way.
Who? Oh, God.
Lol Costa.
Oh, God.
LOL Costa? Yeah.
Yeah, I got it.
Lol Costa.
Lol Costa. Yeah. But, her followers are some of the craziest people I've ever seen.
Well, they would have to be her followers. I mean, how do you listen to that completely inane, just nonsense?
Right.
I'm like, fuck yeah, that's a good idea. I mean,
oh, you want to tax people 70%? Hell yeah! Take my money, bitch.
Well, when I saw this before we came out, where Cardi B was Bacardi. I preferred it when it was called Bacardi. It tasted better. But Cardi B was tweeting out how much she paid in taxes, like 45% or something. And it was like, and somebody made the tweet. This was brilliant. It's like, this is where AOC learns the difference between earned and gross income.
Yeah, hello. Oh, and Ron, the guy who had my Evie in the chat room, Jesus, I was just busting your balls, dude. But okay, well, he wasn't. I mean like that to chat, because chat sucks. But no, she's figured out how much they're taxing her. Hello.
Yeah.
Welcome to reality. It's a lot of fun.
Oh my God, I'm getting taxed 45%. Yep, and your progressive heroes want to jump it to 75.
Have fun with that, dummy.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I have to tell you, okay, so this was his third State of the Union? Because he did one in 16, 17. Yeah, okay. Or was it just 17, 18?
No, he 17, 18. This would, yeah.
Second one, right? God, it's been a long
No, actually, you know what? I don't, because he went in February 17th. This would be his second one, not his third.
Right, so this was his second. Okay, I can't keep it straight. I'm losing my mind. It's been a long week. Last week was cool. I mean, last time
it feels like forever, and it feels like it was just yesterday.
You know what? It does. It sucks. Last year, he was a little... I mean, I kind of cringed waiting for him to say something he shouldn't say. Right? I mean, this is any time he speaks, not just the State of the Union. It's kind of like, okay, Trump's going to say something stupid. Just be prepared. And, I'm ready to tweet about whatever happens. And it was an okay speech last year, right? It was, okay, he didn't screw up. It was fine. Dude kicked ass last night.
You know what? Yeah.
He did.
He did.
I'm not a huge fan of him still. I still think he's kind of a schmuck, but I'm like, holy shit, this is good. I laughed out loud, and I think it's the first time I've ever laughed during a State of the Union.
It was on the lib speech.
It was his piece where he said, don't sit down, you're going to like the next piece. It was talking to the ladies who were all dancing around their stupid white...
Yeah, it was right after he said, you weren't supposed to do that when they were standing up and applauding. At one of the things, too, with the most women in the workforce, when they stood up and applauded. He said, you're not supposed to do that.
Right. Okay. Hey, Rex is telling us, thank you, Rex, that POTUS doesn't do a State of the Union in the year of his inauguration. That's a speech, but it isn't called SOTU. So would that make this his first one?
No. This would be his second.
Okay, I'm just making sure I'm getting it straight.
Yeah, because he did one in 18.
Yeah, but technically that one wasn't considered a State of the Union because it was his first term.
So this would be his first State of the Union.
Correct.
Shit.
They allow a speech in the time frame for the first year of the president's term, but it's not really considered a State of the Union because he doesn't actually know what the State of the Union is yet.
Rex says it was his second. They're all saying it's his second SOTU and his third speech.
Oh,
well, thank God our chat knows what the hell's going on.
Anyway.
Yeah, well, according to Google, there was an actual State of the Union address in 2018. So,
so his is his second. They're right. They're saying his second and his third speech.
Yeah, chat agreed with me.
Chat got it right.
So
well,
yeah,
still
anyway,
sucky.
I was wrong because I was counting wrong. But then again, I don't count anyway. Ordy,
you just use your fingers and your toes, Rick.
You just defended Google, a den of liberals. So
how totally leftist of you. You're fired. Damn, you brought in Google.
I'm sorry, I went to DuckDuckGo.
You lie.
I'm brave.
Like a rug.
You're so full of shit. No, but it was actually really well done. I was shocked.
Yeah, no, I mean, it was like I said, it was an own the libs speech because everything in it was own the libs of everything it was a great speech though.
But he did a really good job, and here's what I think really pissed all of the Democrats off, is he came in, it was the most human I've ever seen him. Like, he kind of comes in and he's all gruff and, rawr, I'm Trump, but he really came in, and it was so human. It was off-putting almost at first. Like, oh my God, he's really a human being. He was very relatable, and I've never seen him like that.
I would give him almost a George W. Bush on that. Definitely more than H.W. Bush.
Yeah.
H.W. Bush was a robot.
He was a robot.
But he wasn't quite as, he wasn't, I'll give him a George W. Bush level of relatability and...
Yeah, it was weird. I was like, what the hell? Who is this guy?
And I wasn't a fan of Bush either. So he seemed like a great guy, but I was not a W fan.
I was a W fan. There were some things I didn't like about his policies, but I just adored him as a president. But as far as Trump, I was like, who is this guy on the TV? This is totally different. And then he starts talking about people-centric policy. And the Democrats don't know how to deal with that because they won't even come in and say, build the wall, screw the immigrants, we're going to build up our defense and women are stupid and then I don't like minorities. That's what they need him to come in and say. And he came in and he's like, the country's doing great. I'm really proud of what we're doing together. I know we can do this better together. And he called out Republicans for not working with the Democrats. And I was shocked. And then he started talking about like paid family leave. And I thought the Democrats were going to shit their pants. I mean, he took everything away from them that they wanted to use against him.
Well, the media and the left build up everything he's going to do like it's going to be an INSOC declaration. You know, it's not. All right. The caricature of him that they make is it sets him up to. It almost makes like Last Night Happened, where they almost humanize him by saying how bad he's going to be. That when he isn't, the bar is. I mean, he came out with a 76% approval of his speech last night.
And it's all people. And here was the big thing: was 82% of independents liked it, and Democrats need independents. They cannot beat him with just crazy left. It's just not going to happen. They need moderates. They need independents, and both of those groups liked Trump's speech. And he knew, I mean, I don't know whoever wrote the speech, because he didn't write it. Come on.
Yeah, none of them ever do.
No, but the speech he wrote, whoever wrote the speech, take this person to dinner and give him a raise, because it was a great speech. There were little bits we could take from it that you could say over and over again. He kicked socialism in the balls, which was great, and
that was really
Bernie
good.
Sanders looked like he smelled a fart when he did it, and AOC kept her arms all crossed, all pissed off the whole time. Oh, and did you notice he's up there talking about how they've caught all these sex traffickers at the border and they're being arrested and this is awesome and we're protecting children, and people are standing up, and she looks over and she's like, do we stand now? Like a fucking idiot. Yes,
am I allowed to stand?
You stand. They are protecting children from being trafficked, dumbass. Get up. Oh my God.
The bad thing for the left, though, is that they're not going to be able to move center left, because that is currently where Schultz is sitting.
But okay, so have you?
And they either need to move to Schultz or go harder left.
Now. They gotta go crazy now.
And we saw how going harder left worked in Virginia this week.
Oh my God! Can we talk about Virginia here in a few minutes? I can't even.
We'll do it after the break, because that's quite the.
I live here, and it's been.
There's a lot to unpack with Virginia this week.
Oh my God! When I make fun of Florida, I can't make fun of Florida anymore. I mean, that's it. We're screwed. But no, his speech was great, and even though I was kind of like, paid family leave, what the hell? But then I realized what he was doing. He did that right after he went into about how the unborn are created in God's image, and unborn babies, we should protect our children. He was hitting the left on that whole talking point about how they always say that pro-life only cares about babies in the womb, right? That we don't care once they're born, fuck them. But that's what he did there, was he's like, we need to protect life. They are an image of God. Babies are precious. And we should make sure parents can spend more time with them when they're born. Shut it down. He did exactly that. I'm not a huge fan. I don't like the idea of a government providing any kind of paid medical leave, but I love what he did with that. It was like a punch. Punch. What are you going to do now? What are you going to bitch about here?
They were reaching so hard
to find something to complain about? Oh my God! I didn't watch.
New York Times of all the people who shit the bed.
Yeah.
New York Times completely shit the bed, because he was talking about how when the soldiers liberated Auschwitz, the prisoner said, "Oh, here come the angels," and then New York Times right on it. Jews don't believe in heaven.
Oh my God!
And it was just.
If you got to slam Trump for talking about angels and Jews, you got nothing.
Right. But I mean, was, wow. I mean,
that's so stupid.
She got drugged. I've only seen 2 ratios develop that quickly. And then the other one was the state senator from Connecticut who wants to put a 35% tax on ammunition.
Yeah, I saw her.
So that was a damn good rate. That was 2,420. That was almost 100 an hour on that ratio. But this chick from the New York Times just got drugged. I mean, balls all over her face.
Oh my God. Okay, not a good visual. Stop. Time out. Not a good visual. But okay, so Abrams, I didn't watch. I went to bed.
I did.
I was like, I ain't watching this shit because I know it's just going to make me mad. But I think they recorded it before he even spoke.
Yeah, they did.
I don't think it was live.
No. They wrote their response to. She was live, but they wrote their response without even watching.
There's
the
no
State of the
way.
Union.
She looks like she's standing in front of a green screen.
Yeah, that's what I said. She looks like she was standing in front of a green screen with the computer generating the crowd behind her. And then when they pulled away, at least I was watching it on C-SPAN, when they pulled away, it looked like the public access things from like before Wayne's World on Saturday Night Live, where it's just the shot of this block shit building in a really monotone voice. And, you know, this presentation has been brought to you by the...
I'm sorry. I think they... Because she didn't address anything in the speech.
No.
I think it was pre-recorded.
It was a straw man. Her whole thing was a straw man.
Yeah, I think they were like, okay, we don't trust her to be able to do this live. They recorded it. They figured they would keep it high level, talk about how the Republicans are evil, they're repressing voters, and they hate black people, and they're sexist and racist, and we need a president who tells the truth. That's the shit you need to say, and that's all she said.
It was an even cringier version of when Schumer and Pelosi responded to his last speech that they didn't watch either, where they they attacked the policy and not the actual speech. It was the same thing. It's like, how if I was an independent voter, how could I take that party seriously when they're not even responding to the things they're supposed to respond to?
Well, but even, and I have a message. I actually am checking Twitter, and someone else brought up a really good point. Josh Trump was the 11-year-old kid who was invited to the speech. Josh fell asleep or was at least resting with his eyes closed. And, of course, the adults on Twitter are making fun of the kid who's already being bullied because of his last name being Trump. Trump did not mention Josh in the speech. And I don't know, part of me was really glad he didn't, because I felt like that might be another opportunity for him to be bullied. But now they've got pictures of him kind of resting up in the galley with Melania, and he's 11 and it's an hour and a half fucking speech.
He's 11 years old. It's 11 o'clock at night. It's an hour and a half speech about policy.
You don't give a shit about that.
I mean,
he's 11.
I know adults that can't stay awake for 30 minutes in an insurance seminar.
There were representatives asleep in that friggin' galley, and they weren't showing them. And they were picking on another kid. Thank you for the message, my friend. I appreciate that. Thank you for the reminder. His story broke my heart. I can't imagine an 11-year-old kid getting so bullied at school that he's been pulled out of school before. He's been homeschooled. He doesn't want to be alive some days, is what his mother has said. So Trump invited him for the State of the Union, and what do the fucking lefties do? They make fun of the kid.
Well, that's what they do. We're not allowed to, don't attack kids when it's like David Hogg.
But it's okay to attack an 11-year-old because his last name is something he can't help.
Well, this isn't even in the first. You got the Covington kids. You got this. We're talking about the party that wants after-birth abortions. They've moved to infanticide.
I told you to wait until after the break to talk about Virginia.
Well, that was part of the State of the Union too. So
yeah. But see, that's a nice segue into Virginia.
Yeah, into Virginia. It's also a nice segue into commercial.
I know. Let's take a break real quick, guys. We will be right back. So stay put and stay out of trouble.
High school smiles, oh yes. Beautiful girl, lovely dress. Where she is now, I can only guess. 'Cause it's gone, daddy gone.
My son was in the Army back during Desert Storm. But even then, he wanted an MBA. He looked at a dozen schools, but only one offered the online education and flexibility he needed while he was in a tent in Iraq. Grantham University. Turns out that Grantham's been delivering affordable, relevant college and advanced degrees for over 65 years. Heck, if they can deliver a quality education to a soldier in a tent overseas, think about the flexibility Grantham can offer you so you can earn your degree too. It doesn't matter how complicated or full your life is. If getting a degree is on your bucket list, you'll want to do what my son did. You'll want to call Grantham. Find out how easy it is to get started on your education so you can check that college degree off your bucket list. Call Grantham right now. 800-910-1370. That's 800-910-1370. Flexible, affordable, relevant. Call 800-910-1370.
Attention business owners and independent contractors. This is a money-saving message from Tax Mediation Services. If your business owes $20,000 or more in taxes, we can help you today, right now. Listen, dealing with the IRS is no picnic. It's an intimidating and extremely stressful process, and you don't want to go it alone. Our attorneys know every law, every tax break, and every possible opportunity to help you resolve and reduce your tax debt. And if you owe more than $20,000, you may be at the top of their hit list. So don't take your tax debt lightly, because it will not go away on its own. The IRS can seize your bank accounts, your home, and even shut down your business. Call our tax experts today at 1-800-783-0810 and let us deal with the IRS while you focus on your business. That's 1-800-783-0810. Again, that's 800-783-0810.
It's gone, daddy gone. Love is gone, it's gone, daddy gone. Love is gone away.
And we're back from break. Look how professional that was. We're so good
No,
at
seriously,
that.
you put some blueberries in the sour cream apple pie recipe instead of the apples, and it's great.
Oh my God. What is the matter with you?
Many things. You want that chronological or alphabetical?
We don't have time. And we're back from break. Thanks for staying put and staying with us and being so lively in the chat room tonight. Although you all still suck. You are here with us live on Foobar with good old
Chat's
Orly.
kicking ass tonight. There's a lot of people. What are we at total chats right now? 480, which, yeah that's great.
God,
that's what G Show, too. G Show is active in chat, too. We're starting to get our chat back. Now we just need our chat client, Rick.
That's up to you guys. I don't do that stuff.
Yeah.
I don't do technical crap.
I have a lot of stuff on my plate this week. We already.
I know. No. Next week, right?
Yeah, because I've got. I'm
Good
gonna
try.
I'm gonna get through the relaunch of Red Wine on Friday night, and then I'm gonna sit down and work on the site on Saturday. So that way, I hope we can have everything up and running and have mods in place before Sunday when JD and Stacey hit again.
That's right.
Fantastic.
So there's 2 debuts this weekend, right? You got the Red Wine on Friday night at 10 Eastern.
Yeah, 10 Eastern because they're right before me and Dan.
And that's Di and Jody. Guys, if you get a chance, you should listen to the Red Wine. These bitches are crazy, but I love them. And then Stacey and JD are back on Sunday?
Sunday, yep. They're kicking off everything Sunday the 10th. I believe it's 9 Eastern, but I'm not 100% sure. I'll have to look.
Okay, just so our listeners know who JD is. You know the loud, crazy guy who calls in and plays like the crazy old Jewish guy, or he talks about that Amish are just Jews on horses or whatever? That is JD. He and Stacey will do their show. And Stacey, of course, is brilliant. She is on Twitter. She's Stacey Lennox. She also writes for The Resurgent. So good shows coming on, KLRN. And look at me being all nice promoting people.
What show are they going to? Are they going to be doing?
Game On, right?
They're doing Game On, or
Game On?
They're bringing back Game On.
It's
Nice.
Game On Sunday, and then it's Red Wine on Friday night.
Because it's been around for a while. They had 2 shows that they were doing at the same time, and there was Game On, and then there was Bloody Marys and Broadsheets.
Oh, that's right, because they would drink Bloody Marys. And
Yeah, that was more of I think that was more economics. Anyway,
I think you would need that though if you're going to do a show with JD all the time. You would need a Bloody Mary when you're on the air with him, and I say that out of love.
Beaker's in the chat.
Beaker, we love Beaker. Okay, we need to talk about Virginia.
Oh God,
I gotta make sure I'm saying it right since I live here. We have Virginians.
Your state is a fucking naked Chinese fire drill right now.
Oh my God, right? Okay, so let's go back to the beginning.
That was a visual I didn't need. Thanks, Orty.
Oh, isn't he good for that? No, let's go back to the beginning when Kathy.
I'm the Bob Ross of mental pictures.
You are not. You were terrifying. No.
I paint pretty pictures. It's what I do.
Oh Lord. So we go back to Kathy Tran, who is a delegate from she's the 42nd district, which is Springfield, Virginia. I think every state has a frickin' Springfield. But anyway, Kathy decides that she's going to introduce a bill that basically allows a mother to abort her child during and right after birth. This is not a great bill. People kind of like, what the hell's wrong with you? Even pro-choice people were kind of like, oh, that's fucked up. So she comes out with this bill. People just annihilate Kathy for a day. The next day, Governor Ralph Northam goes on the radio and kind of supports this bill. And they ask him, what would happen if a baby's born and then there's a defect and the mother wants to abort this child that's just been born. And he says something along the lines of they would keep the child comfortable while they make their decision. Never acknowledging that this is freaking murder, but whatever. So that goes really horribly. People are pissed at Ralph all day, but then the yearbook drops. Now, of course, some people believe that the yearbook dropped because even Democrats were like, holy shit, this is terrible. You got to get rid of this guy. Yearbook drops, and there's a photograph on Governor Northam's page of his medical yearbook, and it's him, or supposedly it's him, either in blackface or in a KKK hood. This doesn't go well. Ralph comes out. I am so sorry I was in this photo. My bad. I promise to do better moving forward. And he thinks that's the end of it. Well, the Democrats are like, screw you. You should resign. He doesn't get the defense he thinks he's going to get. Because he thought they'd circle the wagons and protect him because they're shitty people. That's what they do.
Everybody said that there won't be another Al Franken, that apology and quitting won't happen again.
Right.
So
he really thought they'd circle the wagons and protect him. They didn't. And I think the main reason they didn't is because they thought Fairfax is in the wings. He's a black guy. He's a Democrat. Win-win.
Which goes back to, there's a couple other things in Virginia politics that we didn't cover first. One, that goes back to when Northam wouldn't shake his opponent's hand at the debate.
We'll get to that.
The other one, you got to go back to that same election because it was Virginia that had Cockburn versus Denver Riggleman with the Bigfoot erotica.
We'll get
there. All right. Now we're caught up.
We're caught up. So Ralph comes out, says he's sorry. People are like, you're a shithead. So the next day, Ralph comes out and says, you know what? I don't think that's me. Okay, I know it's not me. I believe it's not me. He has a press conference, and he offers, do the moonwalk. He admits that he has done blackface, but it was just Michael Jackson. So, total shit show. Goes horribly. They're still calling for him to resign, and they're excited about Justin Fairfax, because Justin is a Democrat. He's a lieutenant governor. He's a black guy. So they're going to get behind this. We're going to call out our racist governor and put this eloquent African-American, thank you,
Jennifer Rubin put it.
We're going to put this eloquent African-American.
Which, by the way, that's racist as fuck.
It is racist as fuck. But anyway, so they say, we're going to do this with this guy. Fairfax comes out. He doesn't condemn Northam, but he also is kind of like, we got to do what's right for the state. So you're thinking, I was really thinking Northam's done. Then the allegations against Fairfax come out that he sexually assaulted this woman. So now they got trouble. And these allegations are horrible. If you get a chance, they are on Twitter. Her story is awful. And if anything she says is true, this is awful. They are talking that once he heard these allegations, that Fairfax said some not so nice things about her in a meeting.
Called her a fucking bitch.
Called her, yeah. So didn't go well. And then he came out and says, well, we should believe women, but I didn't do shit. Getting heated. And
believe women, but that one.
That bitch is lying, but believe women. And then it gets worse. So the Attorney General, oh my God, I got to take a deep breath. So the Attorney General, Herring, comes out, oops, I did blackface too in 1980. Holy shit. So this has been the last, 6 days. And Democrats don't know what to do because you've got Northam. Northam, now like you said, has refused to shake hands with a black man when he was running against him. Northam took the black man off of his campaign material when he was running against Gillespie. Northam also ran an ad with some Latino PAC that showed a giant black truck with the Confederate flag and the Gadsden and a Gillespie, who he's running against, a Republican, a Gillespie sticker on the back trying to run down little minority kids. Big white guy driving this truck. This is Northam. Now, the whole time Northam's doing this shit, he is telling the entire state of Virginia that Ed Gillespie is a white nationalist and a racist, and he's evil, and he's going to push Trump's racist agenda. And you got Kamala Harris telling everybody, hey, we don't support racism. You should support Northam. People don't want racism.
That tweet aged like fine.
Holy shit. They're all over the country calling Gillespie, who is like milquetoast as Kavanaugh. They're calling him like this huge, like he's the grand wizard. I mean, it's so bad. Poor Gillespie does lose. Nice man. I mean, kind of milquetoast, but nice enough. Would be better than the crazy guy in blackface doing the moonwalk with the crazy lieutenant governor who is being accused of sexual assault and the attorney general who said, yeah, I had blackface on too.
So let me recap.
It's totally a recap.
Let me recap. Ralph Northam and Attorney General Mark Herring, both in blackface. Justin Fairfax accused of sexual assault.
Yep.
Also, Herring called for Northam to resign over the blackface comments.
That's right.
So, according to the Virginia state law, the next in line, if all three of them were to be forced to resign, would be Cox. Cox's name was pulled out of an old bowl as a tiebreaker.
That's right.
Which Jess said is a perfect metaphor for this timeline.
It is.
So,
but see, then the other thing I saw was that, and I need to look into this because it also said that it was the Speaker of the state legislature and the House or whatever, and his name is William Howell. He's a Republican.
Not Thurston?
Not Thurston, William. But I thought, how am I? Oh, look, it's Gilligan. So this state, I mean, I tell you what, I lived in Wyoming for a decade, and it is redder than red. If you are a Democrat, it is really hard to win there unless you're in Teton County, where like Robert Redford and Harrison Ford live. The blue areas of the state are there, and then like Rock Springs area. That's it. Everything else, I mean, I think there are 90 legislators, and maybe I think 5 of them are Democrats. I mean, that is how red Wyoming is. I get to Virginia, and this shit is crazy.
Florida and California chuckle insanity.
Oh my God! What's really interesting is my husband, of course, has to point this out to me. The day after Kathy Tran pushes out this bill about the abortion, I finally say, okay, it's time for me to get involved. I'm trying. I've been kind of laying low. I don't know enough about the state, and I know Democrats are stupid, but I haven't been here long enough to really be taken seriously.
You're a carpetbagger.
I am, right? I'm from Wyoming. No one listens to me. But I said, you know what, Paul, I'm going to get involved. And then the next day, Northam comes on, and I'm like, okay, this means war. This is before the yearbook stuff happens. So not even a week ago, I declared war.
I remember you were raging in DM. You were pissed.
It was on. I'm like, it's done. It's like karma went, okay, Sam's pissed off. Let's destroy everybody at once. It's like, oh my God. So it's on. And I don't know if anything is going to come of it. Part of me is like, I hope this sumbitch stays. Because I'm going to hang every Democrat with this for the next 2 years. I'm going to throttle them with Ralph Northam. And I hope he and Fairfax, and they hope they all stay. Even though it's shitty for the state, because these people should not be in charge. I cannot tell you how much fun it's going to be to tell every Democrat that they are racist, blackface guys, and that they are sexual assault, and they own all of this. And guess what? The Democrats will not have any positions of authority for a decade if they stay put.
Oh no, it's they're a fucking anchor to the Dems right now.
Yep.
If all 3 of them don't resign, because they are everything that the right is accused of.
Right.
It's I made the tweet today. Oh my God, GOP is so racist and misogynistic and they're rapists, and then it's like I just have to point to Georgia.
It's like
to Virginia.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, I did not mean to impugn Georgia. Georgia is a fine state.
Oh, Georgia's got their own trouble. Stacey Abrams is from Georgia. No, I think I took for granted how easy it was to be a Republican in Wyoming because everybody else is. You come out here, and okay, the further south we get a little bit, you get a little more of that conservative, libertarian, don't tread on me feel. Don't tread on me came from here. So you get that. But man, Northern Virginia, there's some crazy sumbitches, and it's like all DC people, it's all blue, and they own this. So part of me, I think either way they're in trouble in Virginia, because if they
resign... knew that West Virginia would end up being the least racist of the 2 Virginias.
They're like, in your face, Virginia. Oh my God. It has been a crazy-ass week in Virginia. I got, I love all these tweets about how evil and racist Gillespie was. And what's really
there's no evidence of that other than he wanted to support an immigration policy.
He's really, I'm like a kid, like we talk about how Kavanaugh is milquetoast and really laid back, and that is Gillespie. Good policy, nice guy, not real, shiny. You don't go, oh my God, he's so awesome, but he's solid, and he just could not beat the whole rap of but orange man bad, and we got black man bad now, I guess. I don't know, but
Rex did bring up a point. I'm going to walk back my apology for Georgia a little bit because Hank Johnson's from there. Fucking Guam tipping over Hank Johnson.
See, I told you they got some crazy. It's the East Coast, man. There is some crazy. We make fun of California because you deserve it, but man, there's a lot of crazy stuff that happens here on the East Coast, and I tell you what, being this close to D.C. is scary. There's some crazy shit there.
No, you know what? Y'all had done a pretty good job of hiding your crazy until Trump derangement syndrome got ratcheted. I new Simplex has come out.
Yeah.
Simplex 5 isn't it anymore. We're like it's Simplex 9.
It's just DEFCON crazy. I mean, it's what it is, and I think we're just going to see things get worse. And like Mark Warner and Kane, there are senators, and I'm like, hey, where are your yearbooks? They don't think I'm funny. I think I got blocked actually for that one.
Let's all remember the reason why that Virginia had a gubernatorial election this year, and it wasn't just handed to Terry McAuliffe again, was because he took bribes.
Well, yeah, Terry McAuliffe is a horrible human being.
He is, but I mean,
he has hinted he's running for president, by the way.
But there's no pictures of him in blackface.
No, I know, right?
Yeah,
not yet.
But we've now reached the point of the timeline where everybody's yearbook is going to be gone through with a fine-tooth comb.
Yeah.
And I said, where the fuck was Gillespie's Oppo?
Dude, really? I mean, how could you mean? Now, some people have said that Gillespie they didn't want to sink to that level, that they were like, we're not going to play dirty politics, we're going to beat him on policy. But, that didn't happen.
Okay.
And I hate to say it, because I'm one of those people who believes we really shouldn't fight dirty, but if they're going to fight that dirty, I mean, Northam was foul. The things he pulled against Gillespie were really horrible. And knowing all along that he had pictures of himself either in a KKK hood or blackface, I can't figure out which one is worse.
And everybody's trying to say, oh, well, he didn't have any input. This is, talk to the yearbook staff. No, I'm sorry. When you're at medical school, you design your page.
What was on his page is what he wanted.
Yeah, that's what he submitted.
These are the things they want people to remember him by. And then they keep forgetting his name was Coon Man.
Right.
It was
at
Goose.
BMI.
It was Goose, but it was also Coon Man. And when they actually got around at the presser, which was a shit show, when they finally get around
that was
to asking,
so cringy.
They asked Ralph about his nickname. Oh, I don't know why they called me that. Bullshit. That's such a lie. I know why people.
When they asked him to moonwalk,
call me the bunny. I know why they call me Foo. I know why I had an aunt who called me Spanky when I was a kid. I know what my nickname means, and he knew what his nickname meant. He just didn't want to admit that it was probably because he was dressed up in blackface.
Well, okay, that's a timing thing, because there was the VMI was before he went to medical school, so
doesn't matter. Coon Man has history of something going wrong, because it's not like he's hunting raccoons.
Yeah, the same where the red fern grows.
I mean, come on, and it was just everything added up at once. He just should have said, you know what, I screwed up, I'm done. Here's my resignation. Thank you. I apologize to Gillespie because I'm a total piece of shit human being. I really trashed him and I shouldn't have, and I'm moving on. He's digging in, though. He's hired a private investigator to look at the yearbook now.
See, and now I'll give Mark Herring credit. He was really contrite in his apology letter.
Yeah.
But, it's like, hey, we were doing a lip sync rap thing. Okay. Whatever.
I don't care.
It just sounds like, you're taking because there was 4 of you, you're taking the moonwalk thing to the next level.
I hate to break this to him, but there were plenty of people when we were kids who dressed up as Michael Jackson or Run DMC. They were white kids and they were not wearing blackface because they knew that was stupid.
How do you know that shoe polish is hard to get off there,
Ralph?
Well,
he showed, during Ralph's presser, he shows how he put it on his face. He's like, well, you just take a little shoe polish and he puts it on his cheeks. I'm like, holy hell. Dude. You didn't do blackface, but you did do blackface. And, he's hired a private
I didn't do blackface, but let me tell you how to appropriate apply shoe polish.
Show you how. I mean, he, acted it out. I'm putting it on my cheeks.
So, not to cut in, but this just came across the wire from ABC News. Virginia Democratic Congressman Bobby Scott was made aware of allegations of sexual assault against now Lieutenant Governor Justin Fairfax over a year ago by the alleged victim herself, according to ABC News.
Oh boy.
And if ABC News is reporting it, that's like WAPO's new thing of going against Elizabeth Warren.
Yeah.
They are. Where was all this opposition research that WAPO was doing in the previous 20 years?
Well, he tried to say that when this came out originally that WAPO saw the story and he said there were red flags and inconsistency. This is Fairfax. And WAPO said, bullshit, that's not what we said. We said we have no reason to think she's lying, but there's not enough here to write a story about. That's what they said. So he tried to use Washington Post as evidence that her story was wrong. Washington Post said, no, screw you, that's a lie. Then he blamed Northam. Did you see Justin Fairfax then blame Northam for planting it so that he couldn't be governor. Then he walked that back and he said, no, I think it's the mayor of Richmond because he might run against me in 2021. You cannot make this shit up. This is who the Democrats have become.
Well, and this is, okay. When a Republican gets caught doing something stupid, it's the Republican's fault. But because of all of the blackface and everything else that's going on in Virginia, it's Virginia's fault. Well, that's the culture in Virginia.
Well, yeah, they were the Confederacy and Robert E. Lee, and they should take their statues down. I mean, it's not Virginia's fault that he's a piece of shit. I'm sorry, it's just not. And I'm not going to lie to you. There are pockets of Virginia where you walk in and you think it's deliverance. I'm sorry. I love you, Virginia. I think the state is great. I really do love the state. Politics are effed in the B, but I love the state. But there are definitely pockets of deliverance here and there, and you don't want them calling you. You don't want them calling you boy in those areas. I'll tell you that. But the state itself is pretty damn good, and there are a lot of good people here, and these politicians need to get their poop in a group, and that's all I'll say on it.
Get their poop in a group.
Poop in a group. See, look how nice I'm being, because I saw we broke a record cursing, and I realized I got mad. I probably said a lot of things I shouldn't have said, and I'm in letters.
You're fine.
Am I fine?
You're fine.
Shit, Negro. That's all you had to say.
That's what I figured. Plus, we're getting to the end of the show here pretty quick, and I wanted to make a little note and say a little something for Doc Thompson. If you have been in social media today, you heard the news that our friend Doc Thompson passed away, that he was jogging apparently and was clipped by a commuter train, and he died. He was 49 years old. Doc Thompson, if you're unfamiliar with Doc, he was just an icon of radio with Glenn Beck at the Blaze, and recently he had left the Blaze to do his own thing with this Mojo 50, which you're familiar with us, because we were there for a short stint, and it just wasn't a good fit because we are us. But Doc was really good to us when we said, you know what, maybe it doesn't work, and he was still like, I want to work together. Doc was one of those people that was able to laugh at himself and say really funny things about liberty that made you want to listen, and he cared about freedom, and the times we talked, he was very adamant about how important it was to talk to young people, and that young people needed to listen to conservative radio. And if we are going to be, boring ass people who talk about raising taxes all the time and stick to our script of talking points that fit our lives, that we are going to lose these people, these young people. And he had all these great demographics, and he knew who this audience was. And he was so excited and so ready, and it is really a huge loss for the movement. And
he was a genuinely good guy. He his whole time at the Blaze, I rarely missed a show. He was the lead into Glenn Beck, and I watched him religiously. And when he was just, he had his own little fan following with the Jackholes, and the Jackholes have been great with us too. They've been very supportive with us. When we were with Mojo and after we left Mojo, they're still very supportive of us. And I don't want to make light of the situation, but here's another reason to defund Amtrak.
And he would have thought that's funny. And that's the thing about Doc, was he was never somebody who took himself too seriously. And so many people in this business take themselves far too damn seriously. And he understood that, and he made it where you had fun listening to him, and you could sit and just listen. And oh my God, I can't believe that. And he was a joy. And it is a huge loss for not only me personally, because I considered him a good friend, but it is also a huge loss for the conservative media movement, for the libertarian media. He said he might as well have been an anarchist. And just so you guys are aware, there is a GoFundMe that is available for his family. He leaves behind a wife and 3 children. He was only 49 years old, so he was, in the prime. I am actually going to put the GoFundMe up in the chat. They were trying to raise $20,000 when I was there and donated earlier. It was like $84,000. So there is that reminder of how good and how generous and how compassionate the right really can be. I mean, we talk a lot of shit and we get accused of being awfully mean, but you just look at what's happening with Doc's family and his supporters, and you see we're really just not. So, Doc, rest in peace. We will miss you, and we will still listen to what you said before and laugh at every joke you ever told us, because you'd want it that way.
Yep.
And I got through.
You did get through. I didn't think you were going to. I was ready to step in there.
You
but
saved me at one point.
You know what? Real quick, just to, so we end on a light note. Did you see how WAPO is dragging Elizabeth Warren?
No, I missed it.
Okay. They're the ones who released the 1985, I believe, Texas state bar registration where she put down Native American.
Oh, yeah.
They are just completely dragging her of how she's problematic, how she's bad for the cause. You can tell that they are leaning towards Harris.
Yeah.
As of right now, they're leaning towards Harris. But Elizabeth Warren is still the golden child of the New York Times, so you're going to watch WAPO and the old gray lady battle it out over.
Well, they did that. They had the whole Mouthman had the 2020 Democrat polling, and there were like 20 different.
Nice. We can't swear anymore. Don't swear anymore the rest of the episode.
It was 69. Anyway,
nice.
Yeah, go. Anyway, there was like this whole list of Democrats for 2020, and atop is Joe Biden, almost 30%, even with 20 candidates, and then at the bottom it's undecided, and it was like 9% undecided, and it basically beat Elizabeth Warren. I thought that was really funny.
Well, why do the Dems have such a problem with old white men running the party?
Well, every one of these polls, it was like just general. It was Biden and Sanders. Men, Biden, Sanders. Women, Biden, Sanders. Educated, Biden, Sanders. They like their old
minorities, Biden, Sanders.
It was like no Harris, no Booker,
right,
and no Clinton. Yay!
Yeah, I think the highest Booker rated was on the second. I think Clinton wasn't in it because she hasn't announced, and yet.
Well, a lot of them hadn't announced, though, so I think it was just hilarious. So anyway, I think we're about done here. My computer decided to crash on me, so I think that means we're done.
Yeah, sure. That's as good a time as any.
My computer hates me. Anyway, guys, thank you for being here live this week. We sure appreciate it. We had a lot of fun and made a lot of noise and swore 69 times because that's our favorite number. Ordy, where can people find you?
Oh, well, thanks for asking, Sam. People can find me on Twitter as @OrdyPackard, and they can find me here every Wednesday with my charming co-host, Sam Janey. Sam, where can people find you?
Well, you can find me on Twitter at PolitiBunny. That's PolitiBunny, and you can find me on a little website called Twitchy.com. Thank you for being here, guys. We really enjoyed it. Please stay put. Rick is coming up live with America Off the Rails, and he's going to have a better show than ours. So stay put. We'll see you next week. Thanks, guys.
Way smarter than us.
You're not alone when I am down and I am blue. All I have to do is close my eyes and think of you, and the world is new.
You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
Most writers and radio show hosts know that to connect with your fans, you need to do more than just write books or record the latest podcasts. There are many different elements that go into forming an online platform, but there are also many hidden traps. To make matters worse, solid advice on how to survive the muddy waters is scarce. In the book Hidden Traps, I talk about some of the important issues of working with an online platform, highlighting traps that could put your physical or internet security at risk or be harmful to your reputation. Are your social media posts just links with a few disjointed words, making you look like someone who can't complete a sentence? Did your new website cost you more than you anticipated? Are you leaking your personal contact details across the web without even knowing it? Then you need Hidden Traps. Hidden Traps is now available in paperback and ebook from a variety of retailers, including Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Kobo. Visit blackwolfpublications.com for more details.
Do you need a car? Been shopping only to be turned down because of bad credit, low credit, no credit, bankruptcy, or divorce? Guess what? Today's your lucky day, because now you can buy a car, truck, or SUV, just about any vehicle. It's true. Bad credit doesn't matter. No credit doesn't matter. Bankruptcy or divorce, it just doesn't matter. As a matter of fact, your job is your ticket to your new vehicle. We're Auto Credit Express, and we've helped thousands of people just like you. Antonio H. told us, great company, got me connected, and the day I went in, I drove off in the car I wanted. 100% worth your time. Need a car? Get started now and drive off as early as today. Just text FINANCE, FINANCE, to 357-911 right now to get started. That's FINANCE, FINANCE, to 357-911. Auto financing the easy way. Text FINANCE to 357-911.
KLRN Radio has advertising rates available. We have rates to fit almost any budget. Contact us at advertising@klrnradio.com.
Everyone loves liberty. Our rights come from God, not the government. So why are you letting other people tell you what's best for your healthcare? Exercise your freedom with Liberty Health Share. Liberty Health Share is a community of people who voluntarily share one another's medical costs. Liberty Health Share is founded on the idea that most people truly want to help one another. Healthcare sharing allows members to do just that as a true community that supports one another in times of need. Liberty believes people should make decisions for themselves and their families. Members are able to take back the freedom to make their own decisions about their healthcare. Freedom from guilt or doubt about how your money is used. You have the freedom to direct your healthcare, not to be dictated to by bureaucrats. Stop letting others tell you what to do and join a community of like-minded people. Exercise your freedom. Join Liberty Health Share and take back the control of your healthcare while helping those around you. Call Liberty at 855-58-LIBERTY. Again, that's 855-58-LIBERTY for more information, or you can check them out at libertyhealthshare.org. Again, that's libertyhealthshare.org.
My son was in the Army back during Desert Storm, but even then he wanted an MBA. He looked at a dozen schools, but only one offered the online education and flexibility he needed while he was in a tent in Iraq. Grantham University. Turns out that Grantham's been delivering affordable, relevant college and advanced degrees for over 65 years. Heck, if they can deliver a quality education to a soldier in a tent overseas, think about the flexibility Grantham can offer you so you can earn your degree too. It doesn't matter how complicated or full your life is. If getting a degree is on your bucket list, you'll want to do what my son did. You'll want to call Grantham. Find out how easy it is to get started on your education so you can check that college degree off your bucket list. Call Grantham right now. 800-910-1370. That's 800-910-1370. Flexible, affordable, relevant. Call 800-910-1370.
At St. Jude, a family never sees a bill at all. It's like the world has been lifted off of your shoulders.
St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Finding cures, saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
Sometimes writers feel lost, unsure why a passage may not be working. It takes another set of eyes to help us nurture our writing into full maturity. At Black Wolf Editorial Services, we strive to enable writers to develop and grow, offering manuscript critiques and line edits through a mentoring editorial style. We also offer assistance on generating a writer's bio for your websites. Black Wolf Editorial Services, nurturing your writing into maturity. For a full list of services, visit blackwolfeditorial.com.
You're listening to the Spark Radio Network, internet radio like you've never heard before. Innovation, creativity, and imagination are all said to begin with a spark. So fasten your seatbelt and take the ride of your life and listen for the spark.
I take a breath, I'm not gonna lose. This is what I came here to do.
Keep on doing what you do, Rick. You're my favorite host. Favorite host.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
It's time to hear the truth about America's biggest challenges. You're listening to America Off the Rails with your host, Rick Robinson.
Good evening, America. Welcome to the program. I am Rick Robinson. We are live right now on KLRNradio.com, where liberty and reason still reign. We do this thing every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday at varying times. Mondays and Wednesday nights, we're typically live at 10 p.m. Eastern. Tuesdays and Thursdays, we are live at 9 p.m. Eastern. Sorry, I kind of forgot. I move my show around a lot because I'm kind of the guy that does a lot of the behind-the-scenes stuff, and usually when we bring in new shows or whatever the case may be, I'm the first one to say, hey, you can have my time slot. And we've had a lot of new shows coming in, more coming in behind the new ones that are already here, and because of that, I've actually staggered my schedule a bit to make sure the newer folks get the time slots that they want. And all of that being said, I hope everybody's had a great Wednesday evening. We are going to start the show on a bit of a sad note. For those of you who may not be aware, Doc Thompson, formerly with The Blaze, and also now formerly with Mojo 50 Radio, passed away yesterday. I have limited experience dealing with Doc. I never got a chance to meet him. However, I've been involved in some email chains and a few other things during our short affiliation with Mojo through the Foobar show that we do here through KLRN Radio and the Spark Radio Network. And I have to say, I was always thoroughly impressed. I was a huge fan of Doc, even back when he was with The Blaze. But instead of you hearing me pontificate about somebody that I was just really starting to get to know a little bit, unfortunately, and now I won't have the opportunity to have that relationship continue. This audio is being played directly from Glenn Beck Radio from The Blaze, and these are his comments from this morning.
Last night, I was on my way back to the hotel. It was late at night, and I got a call from the head of my company, and he said, I've got some really bad news. And I said, okay. And he said, this is really bad news. Are you seated? And I said, yeah, I'm in the car. I'm on the way back to the hotel. He said, Doc Thompson was killed tonight. And it took me a while to even process. At first, it just didn't. What? Apparently, Doc Thompson, who did the Morning Blaze for a long time at the Blaze TV and radio, was out jogging last night, and he had his earbuds in, and he was jogging next to the railroad tracks. And apparently, we think that his headphones were up so loud that he could not hear the train that was coming, and it sideswiped him and killed him. Doc was one of the more talented and gregarious guys that I know. He was a guy who would come into my office all the time. I got an idea. He was the ultimate entrepreneur. And he left us, was it during this last summer, Stu?
Yeah, not too long ago.
He left us to start his own business. And I was thrilled for Doc because that's who he is. He was just an entrepreneur and an idea guy, and he loved entrepreneurs, and he loved new businesses. And because of Doc, many businesses are flourishing because he would really take them under his wing, and he cared deeply about people who were trying to do business. And he left to start his own broadcast unit. And unfortunately, he put every single penny he had in it. And he was the kind of guy who bet on tomorrow and bet on himself. And he leaves behind a wife and 2 children. There is a GoFundMe page. It's GoFundMe.com/Doc hash, or what do you call it? Hyphen Thompson.
Well, we'll send it out from the social pages here. Go ahead and make sure everyone can get the right link.
Yeah. But if you can help, here's a guy who believed in the American dream. Here's a guy that, for the Blaze family, woke so many people up every morning, and always just had a positive attitude, and a can-do spirit. And we are devastated as a family, and devastated for his family. And we would ask that if you ever listened to Doc or appreciated anything that he did, that you would help his family out. GoFundMe.com/Doc-Thompson.
All right, so there you have it from longtime coworker and friend and boss Glenn Beck from The Blaze discussing the recent passing of Doc Thompson. Again, I had very limited interaction with him. However, all of us at KLRN Radio were completely heartbroken to learn about that today. I have friends affiliated with Mojo 50, and we run in a lot of the same circles. And just the idea of the fact that we have lost just a warrior for liberty. And the senselessness of it. I mean, to get sideswiped by a train at 49 years old, that hits me probably a lot harder than it would have been when I was younger, because let's face it, 19, 20, 21 years old. Oh my God, 49 years old is old. Dude, I'll be 46 in 3 months. We were nearly the same age. And we're on the same career path. Granted, he got started earlier than I did. He has had a much better trajectory than I do. But I'm still plugging away at it, still doing the same things. And it's just, it's just the fact that we keep talking about how we're going to make things better for tomorrow, when the reality is we don't even know if we're going to be here for tomorrow. And that's why this has hit me as hard as it has, but it's also reaffirmed my fight. Because losing somebody like Doc Thompson could be terrible for conservative talk radio. It could be terrible for libertarian talk radio. It could be terrible for grassroots talk radio. Whatever you want to call us, we've lost a beacon. And those of us that are still here have to carry it on. And that's what I plan to do. I have a great team around me. I have people that I consider family that I would walk through fire for. And you hear me all the time with these people. And I don't, this is not to pat myself on the back, but I want you guys to understand this. We make next to nothing doing this. And I am involved hours upon hours every single day, just making sure that the message gets out. Not because I give a damn if we ever get anywhere, but because I want us to be able to make a difference. Doc Thompson was one of the people that was making a difference. And now he's gone. So the rest of us have to step up. This isn't about ego. This isn't about bank accounts. This isn't about checkbooks. This is about what those of us that do this, and we do it all the time, we don't think about the money. It's not, oh my God, I've got to get up early and do this morning update again. Oh my God, I've got 4 hours worth of editing to do when I get home for things that I've got to do over the weekend. Now, all of those things run through my head, and so they run through everybody's head that does this on a regular basis. But I want you to understand that this matters to us because we've seen people like Doc Thompson who built themselves up from nothing. had hundreds of thousands of people listening to him every single day. And now we're here, and he's not. So we have a choice. We can allow it to consume us, which I'm really bad about that, I'm not going to lie. The older I get, the more people that leave the earth unexpectedly that are around my age, I've honestly had panic attacks. When people that, especially people that I know, and this is going to be odd, and I'm just going to throw this out here because I'm just going to say this. I didn't know what caused it last night, and I'm not 1,000% sure that this is what caused it, but I could not go to sleep last night. Even after being up for hours, getting ready for the State of the Union stuff, watching it, doing the recap, doing the editing, all the things that I had to do. I finally tried to lay down about 1 o'clock last night when I finally wound down enough that I fell asleep in my chair, and I had this crushing panic attack, and I was up at 2:30. Never really did get back to sleep. And then I woke to hear about this news. Now, I'm not saying anything about causation, correlation, or anything else, but I gotta say, it hit me pretty hard to realize that I was having a panic attack right about the same time that everybody was finding out that Doc Thompson had died. And it's terrifying to me because I think what caused me to have the panic attack is I started looking at all the unfinished stuff, all the bits and pieces. Like when Glenn Beck was talking about a second ago, Doc Thompson has sunk every spare dime of everything he had into the business that he was starting because he believed in himself and he believed in tomorrow. I've done that here. Every spare dime, every spare minute has gone into KLR and radio. Everything I can find, scraped together from the couch cushions, whatever the case may be, goes into KLR and radio. Every spare minute to the point where I've almost wound up in divorce court has gone into KLR and radio. Because I believe this is what I'm supposed to be doing. And to see somebody like Doc Thompson, who was doing the exact same things and spending all of his time to try to make America better and all of his money to try to make America better, just taken out by a damn train. That hit hard. Probably harder than it should have. I actually spent a lot more time on this than I meant to. We should probably take a break so I could change gears, because it's not like we don't have enough stuff to talk about tonight. And Doc Thompson wouldn't want me carrying on about him for the whole show. Lord knows I didn't know him well, but I know he wouldn't have liked that. We'll be right back. This is America Off the Rails. I'm your host, Rick Robinson. We're going to change over to some State of the Union and some things that I didn't notice until I went back to watch earlier today. Yeah, I watched it twice. I'm a nerd. I get it. We'll be back.
Whether we realize it or not, everyone has been impacted by addiction. We all have family members, we all have friends that have faced this demon. But there's hope. There's hope in recovery. There's hope when we work together to rise above the plight of addiction. I'd like you to join Mac Mullings every Saturday from 2 to 4 p.m. on Rise Above Radio on KOKC 1520 AM, where they talk about the hope that is available to all of us.
My son was in the Army back during Desert Storm, but even then he wanted an MBA. He looked at a dozen schools, but only one offered the online education and flexibility he needed while he was in a tent in Iraq. Grantham University. Turns out that Grantham's been delivering affordable, relevant college and advanced degrees for over 65 years. Heck, if they can deliver a quality education to a soldier in a tent overseas, think about the flexibility Grantham can offer you so you can earn your degree too. It doesn't matter how complicated or full your life is. If getting a degree is on your bucket list, you'll want to do what my son did. you'll want to call Grantham. Find out how easy it is to get started on your education so you can check that college degree off your bucket list. Call Grantham right now, 800-910-1370. That's 800-910-1370. Flexible, affordable, relevant. Call 800-910-1370.
Attention business owners and independent contractors. This is a money-saving message from Tax Mediation Services. If your business owes $20,000 or more in taxes, we can help you today, right now. Listen, dealing with the IRS is no picnic. It's an intimidating and extremely stressful process, and you don't want to go it alone. Our attorneys know every law, every tax break, and every possible opportunity to help you resolve and reduce your tax debt. And if you owe more than $20,000, you may be at the top of their hit list. So don't take your tax debt lightly, because it will not go away on its own. The IRS can seize your bank accounts, your home, and even shut down your business. Call our tax experts today at 1-800-783-0810 and let us deal with the IRS while you focus on your business. That's 1-800-783-0810. Again, that's 800-783-0810.
Welcome back to the program, ladies and gentlemen. I am Rick Robinson. We are live right now on KLRNradio.com, and we've been discussing Doc Thompson and his untimely passing. I did want to give out one last time the GoFundMe. It's GoFundMe.com / I believe it's Doc-Thompson, but I actually don't have it in front of me anymore. I made the mistake of closing it out right when I said, hey, I want to give this out one more time. Anyway, if you are listening, whether you're listening on podcast everywhere else, you can actually, I'm going to leave this up for a couple of days. I don't normally do this. Right now we're running on a continuous stream. So tomorrow evening tomorrow night, when I get done with everything else, we're going to break everything up, put them into their regular podcast link. So if you happen to catch this on Spotify, iTunes, everywhere else that this goes when they're in their own categories, you can go to the KLRN Radio live feed. You'll see in the comment section, Foo had put out the GoFundMe link. Look, I don't care if you listen to the guy for 5 minutes or 5 years. Give his family $1, $2, $3, $5. I don't care. The simple fact of the matter is this guy believed in what he was doing. He sunk every dime he had into the business that he had just started, and now he has a wife and 2 children that don't have their father or their husband anymore. As somebody who's lost a father-in-law recently who I thought of more as a father, I don't know how I would recover from that if I was in a similar situation. So, but that is all we're going to say about that, because otherwise I'm going to spend the whole hour on it, and everyone's going to be like, I tuned in to you for you to listen to you and talk about Doc Thompson for an hour. But what can I say? Good thing you have unlimited bandwidth. Nice, Ordy, nice. All right. So, as of right now, what we're going to do, so if you missed it last night, also something else I would encourage you to go check out, the State of the Union recap done on this same section, KLRN Radio live feed, which had myself, Stacey Lennox, Jen Homestead, and Chad Alexander, who you may remember was on with me on this show last week, actually joined us for the State of the Union recap. I had such great guests, I really didn't talk much. I tend to do that a lot when I have guests. So we're going to talk a little bit about what I thought about the State of the Union for the last part of the show. And I hope you guys don't mind, because, it's not really going to be much of a rehash, because, like I said, I had 3 other people that had lots of stuff to say. So I just sat back and pushed the buttons, because that's why I do roundtables. That way you guys aren't always just getting my perspective. But so anyway, my perspective of last night. I thought things started off really, really well with Donald Trump. Not to steal some of what Foo said, but every time he opens his mouth, I have a panic attack. Every time. So I'm like, is he going to stay on script this time? Is he going to read from the teleprompter? Is he going to take something sideways? And don't get me wrong, there were a couple times last night that I felt he did that. But overall, I thought he stayed on message really, really well. I thought he did a masterful job of weaving personal experience in with his policy decisions by having the guests in the gallery that he had, pointing out the guests that he had in the gallery at the time that he did, People hate it when I do this, but I'm going to say it. The only other person I saw that did that as well as he did was probably Reagan. And I know, stop comparing Trump to Reagan, blah, 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 blah. Look, Reagan's my hero. I was in second grade. Watched the man get shot on live TV, shrug it off, and make jokes with the nurses later. Reagan is the reason I became a political junkie. But knowing some of the things that I know about the last few years of his presidency now, if you're smart enough to look, all I'm saying is government is not a perfect scenario. Never has been, never will be, but I loved a lot of the things that he said last night because he said some of the very things that I've been saying since I've had this tiny little anthill that I like to pretend is a mountain called KLRN Radio. Now, the reason I bring that up is because I actually heard him say something that I have said I do not know how many times when broadcasting, whether it's here, whether it's when I had a stint on WNJC out of New Jersey, when I've been on KOKC, all the other places that I've been. I've said this over and over and over again. Human trafficking is modern-day slavery. I've never heard a sitting president utter that sentence, and he did it. He put everybody on notice and said, look, if you're okay with this, you're basically okay with modern-day slavery, which is the truth. This is what he should have said 2 weeks ago when he said, look, I've tried over and over again to bring them back to the table, so we're going to go ahead and open the government up so we can negotiate. He should have said all these things then. I would have been not nearly as upset if he would have laid all this back at the Democrats' feet right then and there. But he did a really good job of it last night. As is noted by the numbers. When you start think about it. 93 to 97% negative press coverage for the first 2 years that he's been in office. And now, the day after the State of the Union address, CBS, everybody's putting out polls with 73, 74% approval. Most people even agreed with his immigration points. That's never happened before. That's never happened before, not in the time that he's been president. I saw that, JC. I heard where JC in the chat's like Trump earned that comparison. Even Reagan's speechwriter gave Trump accolades. And I heard that. But, it still doesn't matter. I'm still going to get hate mail because I compared Trump to Reagan. But what disturbs me? I heard him do this multiple times last night, talking about how we need to bring the country back together. That it doesn't matter if we win for our party if we lose for the country. Now, he didn't say it exactly that way, but he basically said the same thing. At the end of the day, it's not about winning for the party, it's about winning for America. And I think he honestly believes that. Up until now, I wasn't so sure. And I know, everybody's like, it's just words. He was reading from a teleprompter. If Barack Obama would have said that, you'd have been like, you're a lying bastard. But when Barack Obama was giving his speeches, I couldn't make any emotional connections with him because I knew he was just reading words. Yes, Donald Trump was using a teleprompter last night. Yes, Donald Trump was talking from a speech last night, otherwise known as a script. I get all of that. But at the end of the day, you could tell that he meant what he said. I don't remember the last time that I actually watched a president speak and I believed that they meant what they said. That's what hit me the hardest yesterday. Because you have to understand, I did not vote for Donald Trump. I despised his candidacy with every fiber of my being for pretty much the entire time that he'd announced, because I was 1,000% positive that he was going to put it at the tank at the end and hand it to Hillary Clinton. And I still firmly believe that's what he was supposed to do. Because you look at how quickly everybody flipped. I still firmly believe he was supposed to take it on the chin. Nobody's going to be able to tell me otherwise. But I think what happened is at some point when he realized, if I take the dive like I'm supposed to, they have everything set up to destroy me. My businesses will be gone. My family will be in ruins. I will be broke and I will be in jail. Because they already had the pieces in place. All of these pieces that they have that they've been trotting out, those were what they were going to use to destroy him after he lost. And that's the point. And Ron, you're right. He does believe it. Then the problem is a lot of the Congress critters don't. For those of you who don't know, we have a chat room here at KLRN Radio. If you happen to catch us live, you can actually interact there. We do have a new feature starting next week. I haven't purchased the phone number yet, but I will be. We're going to have a chat room integrated in the website again. Thanks to Chatwing, we haven't had that in a couple of weeks because they just vanished right after we paid for like a year's worth of their service. So we won't be doing that anytime soon, but we do have a new chat client. We'll be installing this next week. We have also figured out how to screen callers when we have a producer, and also we are going to assign a number so that we don't have to do the put in this 7 or 10-digit number, then remember this 6-digit PIN so you can actually talk to somebody. And we're also going to be able to increase the number of people that we can have on hold. We're going to give that out not only really as the ability to communicate with us if you choose to, because we're going to have a way that you can get our attention, because like I said, we will have a call screener. But I've also had people that have been like, sometimes this doesn't work real well, or I can't get to it from Spreaker. Dude, we can have up to 100 people in that room. So you can just dial the number and listen on your phone. That's part of what we're doing with that. But anyway, I didn't mean to really get into that, but we're up against a break anyway, so I just kind of wanted to give you guys a sneak peek of what's kind of going to be coming behind the scenes for the next couple of weeks. We do have a lot of new stuff coming in, so I'm going to extend that out for just a second before we go to break. And basically just remind you guys, we already had the Toxic Masculinity show air for the first time last week. That will be the last Wednesday of every month, and it has me, G, and Orty in it. It'll be a once-a-month broadcast, basically, where we... Basically, we make fun of all the libs with their hatred of masculinity. This month's episode, we will bring out our Babe of the Month. We're going to have one featured guest every month that is a female. This first one will be Leslie Dowd. You may recognize her from the disclaimer. For those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, I'll play it at the commercial break. Not necessarily because I plan on cursing, but, just because it's Leslie. But anyway, so we are going to take a really quick break. As a reminder, don't forget Friday night we have the Red Wine joining us for the first time right here on KLRN Radio, and Game On with JD and Stacy is returning home starting Sunday the 10th. So we have lots of new programming coming out as well, and we will see you guys here in a couple minutes. I'm going to take a second, grab a drink of water, and then we will keep on rolling with the State of the Union. Kind of got sidetracked there for a second, so for that I do apologize. We will be right back. Stay tuned.
Everyone loves liberty. Our rights come from God, not the government. So why are you letting other people tell you what's best for your healthcare? Exercise your freedom with Liberty Health Share. Liberty Health Share is a community of people who voluntarily share one another's medical costs. Liberty Health Share is founded on the idea that most people truly want to help one another. Healthcare sharing allows members to do just that as a true community that supports one another in times of need. Liberty believes people should make decisions for themselves and their families. Members are able to take back the freedom to make their own decisions about their healthcare. Freedom from guilt or doubt about how your money is used. You have the freedom to direct your healthcare, not to be dictated to by bureaucrats. Stop letting others tell you what to do and join a community of like-minded people. Exercise your freedom. Join Liberty Health Share and take back the control of your healthcare while helping those around you. Call Liberty at 855-58-LIBERTY. Again, that's 855-58-LIBERTY for more information, or you can check them out at libertyhealthshare.org. Again, that's libertyhealthshare.org.
My son was in the Army back during Desert Storm, but even then he wanted an MBA. He looked at a dozen schools, but only one offered the online education and flexibility he needed while he was in a tent in Iraq. Grantham University. Turns out that Grantham's been delivering affordable, relevant college and advanced degrees for over 65 years. Heck, if they can deliver a quality education to a soldier in a tent overseas, think about the flexibility Grantham can offer you so you can earn your degree too. It doesn't matter how complicated or full your life is. If getting a degree is on your bucket list, you'll want to do what my son did. You'll want to call Grantham. Find out how easy it is to get started on your education so you can check that college degree off your bucket list. Call Grantham right now. 800-910-1370. That's 800-910-1370. Flexible, affordable, relevant. Call 800-910-1370.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 1-800-516-7602 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 1-800-516-7602 to take your call right now. Call 1-800-516-7602. That's 1-800-516-7602. Again, 1-800-516-7602.
Attention business owners and independent contractors. This is a money-saving message from Tax Mediation Services. If your business owes $20,000 or more in taxes, we can help you today, right now. Listen, dealing with the IRS is no picnic. It's an intimidating and extremely stressful process, and you don't want to go it alone. Our attorneys know every law, every tax break, and every possible opportunity to help you resolve and reduce your tax debt. And if you owe more than $20,000, you may be at the top of their hit list. So don't take your tax debt lightly, because it will not go away on its own. The IRS can seize your bank accounts, your home, and even shut down your business. Call our tax experts today at 1-800-783-0810 and let us deal with the IRS while you focus on your business. That's 1-800-783-0810. Again, that's 800-783-0810.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so before we went into the realm of behind-the-scenes stuff, we were talking State of the Union. So a couple things that well, I already gave you the really big, one of the big things that really just kind of hit home with me was him actually saying, you know, human trafficking is the modern-day slavery, and if you're not wanting to fix our immigration system, then you might as well just say that you're all for it. Another thing that I really, really liked was the moment, well, there were two, and they were kind of back-to-back. There was the moment where he basically stood up, and, well, he was standing the whole time, so bad analogy there. But when he said that, you know, children both living children and the unborn were created in the image of God and therefore should be protected. Now, that's a paraphrase, but I love the fact that he said that, because I don't remember the last time that I heard a president using a platform such as the State of the Union to actually try to advance a pro-life agenda. Look, and I'm just going to say this. For all of these never-Trumpers out here, because remember, folks, up until Inauguration Day, I was a never-Trumper, that are now telling me that I need to vote for Democrats because Donald Trump is a raging lunatic. I haven't seen anything Donald Trump has done that has put this country in danger. Not a single thing. The tariffs, I was iffy on those. They seem to be working because China's getting their ass kicked right now. Now, is it going to continue to work? I don't know, but that's why he has the ability to adjust things on the fly, and he does a pretty good job of it. So for all these never-Trumpers, and you know who you are, some of you were friends of mine until recently. Some of you have blocked me. Some of you no longer speak to me. Others of you basically pretend I no longer exist. I would have never done that to you, just for the record. But for you to tell me that I should be voting Democrat when the Democrats have now in two separate states, one successfully and one failed, thank God, put out bills to try to rip children from their parents while they're being born and say, oh, you don't want this kid? That's fine. We'll just put it over here in a corner and never, we'll just, you know, it'll be all right. You go home without it. We'll take care of it. Are you seriously telling me this is the country that we've become? That it's, I mean, think about this for a second. These are the same people. And I've had a come to Jesus moment with that as well. But these are the same people that oppose the death penalty, not for the same reasons that I do now. Because as a conservative, I have to say I started off pretty staunchly pro-life and also pretty staunchly pro-death penalty. When I started doing the the circuit, CPAC, Southern Republican Leadership Conference, all those other things that I typically try to, for a while I was going to pretty much every single one of them whenever I could, because, that's what you do when you're trying to build a name and a platform. I started connecting with groups that were conservative but were opposed to the death penalty, and it's because, there's this, this problem of, usually about 1 in 50 that we've put to death, necessarily we find out after the fact we're innocent. And everybody's, that's 1 in 50, and I started thinking, well, that's great, unless you're the one, or unless you're the family of the one. So I started thinking, maybe at least until we can get things sorted out, maybe we should, we can always commute your sentence if you had life in prison. If we find out you were innocent, we can't really commute death. So that's where I had a bit of a change there. But these same people that are, oh my God, these drugs that you're giving to these death row inmates that basically put them to sleep and they never wake up again, and that's cruel and unusual punishment. See, that's not my take on it. I don't think it's cruel and unusual punishment. If you deserve the needle in your arm, as far as I'm concerned, you should get the needle in your arm. But we better damn well make sure that we can find a way to make sure that 100% of the people that we're putting to death are actually the people that we're supposed to be putting to death. Because until we can do that, I don't necessarily think we should have the death penalty. But not because I think it's cruel and unusual punishment. Shit, I used to carry a badge and a gun. Trust me, I don't think any of that's cruel and unusual punishment. If you've earned it, you deserve it. But until we can prove that you've earned it and you deserve it, we probably shouldn't be doing it. But these same people are okay with a set of forceps tearing a baby apart in the womb. But, oh my God, don't put that needle in that guy's arm because that's cruel and unusual punishment. The one thing that I loved about that moment was in 10 seconds, Donald Trump killed their entire argument. Because the left over and over again has told me, well, you care about them until they're until they're in the womb, but after that you don't care. No, that's not what we've ever said. Nobody who's pro-life has ever said once they're out of the womb, they're not my problem. What we've said was they shouldn't be the government's problem. Because private sector can take care of things a hell of a lot better than the government can. Charity can take care of things a hell of a lot better than the government can. But now that we have all these intrusive taxes, I mean, folks, I live in Oklahoma, probably per capita one of the lowest tax states in the area, and I still give up so much of my day paying taxes. I work every single day, and for the first 3 hours, I'm paying taxes. So for 3 hours a day, I'm working just because I have to, not because I want to earn anything. Because by the end of the day, by the time you figure out with what my wife and I make, and the state taxes, and the local taxes, and all the other little knick-knack taxes that nobody bothers to tell you about, we're sitting at about 33%. So that means for about every 8-hour day that I work, at least 3 of it is sitting somewhere going, yeah, this is not for me, this is for the government. Now that's just some quick math. It's not exactly 3, it's closer to 2. But still, about 2.5, just kind of doing the math in my head. But, 2.5 hours of my day, every single day, to pay my tax bill. I'm not okay with that. Especially when I'm told that the whole reason that we're supposed to be doing these things is so we can take care of things that we already have ways to take care of. But this is my libertarian side coming out. But again, what I loved about that moment was Donald Trump took that entire argument away. This was done after Donald Trump got every single freshman senator or freshman congresswoman sitting in white, standing to their feet, chanting USA, and doing the raise the roof motion very awkwardly. I don't know if they realized what they were chanting, because they're not usually fans of America. But when he pointed out that we have more women in Congress than any other government on the planet, all of a sudden they're excited and they're high-fiving each other and they're raising the roof, because for that moment it was all about them. Because they managed to set a record. They did it. Doesn't have anything to do with the fact that we really are one of the more equitable countries on the planet when it comes to the treatment of women. That's right, folks. In case you didn't know it, the myth of pay inequality between male and female, it's been disproven. We won't go into that tonight, but I can, just not tonight. That's not what the show's about. At the same time, we had Donald Trump over and over again driving home points that he's never been able to make in succession before. So much so that last night, one of the biggest points for me, we never even got to talk about. He's actually pushing for criminal justice reform. This should have been something that everyone, but especially the left, was cheering for, because that's one of their goalposts that they like to move around the lot, is the disparity between races when it comes to sentencing. Donald Trump actually took a look at that, put a magnifying glass on it, had somebody stand up and point out, this guy was treated badly by the system, and this lady was treated badly by the system, but we fixed it. Now, keep in mind, he's the biggest racist on the planet, but they were both African American. But he's a racist. He doesn't know what he's doing, but we haven't had an economy like this in the entire time I've been alive. But he doesn't know what he's doing. You know, one of the things that drove me crazy last night, and we have nobody, or this morning from last night, and we have nobody to blame but ourselves, is I cannot, because everybody knows what I do at the day job, but I've promised them that I will not tell them where I work. That's one of the, for those of you who don't know, Rick Robinson is not my real name. I've used this name even before I started working here, but that's the only reason I can still work there, is because I separate the two. Because otherwise they would have fired me. But sitting in my cube, doing my job, I start hearing conversations about the State of the Union last night. One of the things that I heard over and over and over again was, oh my God, did you hear that? Donald Trump was taking credit for all of Barack Obama's economic policies that have finally started working. And I'm sitting in my cube trying to gouge my ears out with my pen and claw my own eyes out just to make it stop. But it's our fault. Rick, why is that our fault, you may ask? Because we let Barack Obama push that narrative for 6 years with nary a pushback. For 6 years, the media, the Republicans, everybody, well, it's we're still in a bad place. This is all Bush's fault. For 6 years, Bush's fault. They didn't start hanging it around his neck until the last 2 years, which is where it should have been the whole time. Now, I get it, and I've made this argument before. Our economy is basically like trying to steer a big ship. It takes a while to turn. But one of the things that spurred the quick takeoff was the complete and total turnaround in consumer confidence when Donald Trump was elected to the office. It immediately spurred consumer confidence to levels that we hadn't seen in years. Guys, whether you realize it or not, up until we started bringing manufacturing jobs back to this country, we had pretty much turned our back on that way of life. And at some point in the late 70s, we decided we were going to be the money changer capital of the world. So we are predominantly a service-oriented economy. So when consumer confidence tanks, so do we. Under Barack Obama, for 8 years, we had some of the lowest consumer confidence ratings we had ever seen. And everybody wondered, you know, with all of these programs that they have in place, the stimuluses, the refusal to raise interest rates, all of these things that should have spurred the economy, and yet they never moved. But the second Donald Trump was, not even when he was sworn in, but from the second he was elected, consumer confidence flipped like a switch. And all of a sudden, all of the economic indicators started moving in the right direction again. Was it slow at first? Yes, but it was a lot faster than it should have been. Because a lot of the programs that Barack Obama had done, as far as, you know, the cuts to the interest rates and all those things, those were designed to spur the economy, but they couldn't get the consumer on board with it. Because there were too many false starts and missteps. The millions of dollars spent on an Affordable Care Act website that didn't work. The fact that we found out that it wasn't going to save us $2,500, but in most cases it was costing families $5,000. Those things that were all missteps, that even though all the pieces were there, we couldn't get the economy to fire off. Donald Trump gets elected and suddenly it starts happening. For every regulation that gets passed, he's cut 2, which has brought businesses back to the table. There is no reason right now that the Democrats should not have been cheering about everything that we were hearing last night, because we now have companies that are voluntarily raising their wages, in most cases, to around $15 an hour. That's always been the Democrats' magic number. But they only want that magic number if the government's making the businesses do it. They don't want it to be done willingly. Are you crazy? Well, maybe I am a little bit, but that's beside the point. So, all in all, last night, I thought the speech went really, really well. At the end of the day, he said everything that he needed to say. I think he may have hit on too many points, but I do understand why he did it. Because this is the first time that I think he felt really comfortable behind that pulpit, behind the bully pulpit. I mean, he's never done this before. This was only his second official State of the Union. Because the first one doesn't really count. It's more of a get-to-know-you speech. So it's taken him some time to find his feet. But for somebody that had no idea what he was doing from day one, and for all of the things that have plagued this administration, the economy is doing amazingly well. And that's why the Democrats have to fight him on everything else. All right, so we're going to take the last break of the show. Give me a chance to get recombobulated a bit. Sorry, I get a little worked up when I start talking about this stuff because, you know, not everybody knows this, but the Barack Obama economy killed a business that I had for nearly 20 years. I didn't do what I'm doing right now until Barack Obama got elected because I had to go find something else to do. But yeah, tell me again how Democrats save America, and I'll sell you a bridge in Brooklyn. We'll be right back.
My son was in the Army back during Desert Storm, but even then he wanted an MBA. He looked at a dozen schools, but only one offered the online education and flexibility he needed while he was in a tent in Iraq. Grantham University. Turns out that Grantham's been delivering affordable, relevant college and advanced degrees for over 65 years. Heck, if they can deliver a quality education to a soldier in a tent overseas, think about the flexibility Grantham can offer you so you can earn your degree too. It doesn't matter how complicated or full your life is. If getting a degree is on your bucket list, you'll want to do what my son did. You'll want to call Grantham. Find out how easy it is to get started on your education so you can check that college degree off your bucket list. Call Grantham right now. 800-910-1370. That's 800-910-1370. Flexible, affordable, relevant. Call 800-910-1370.
Attention business owners and independent contractors. This is a money-saving message from Tax Mediation Services. If your business owes $20,000 or more in taxes, we can help you today, right now. Listen, dealing with the IRS is no picnic. It's an intimidating and extremely stressful process, and you don't want to go it alone. Our attorneys know every law, every tax break, and every possible opportunity to help you resolve and reduce your tax debt. And if you owe more than $20,000, you may be at the top of their hit list. So don't take your tax debt lightly, because it will not go away on its own. The IRS can seize your bank accounts, your home, and even shut down your business. Call our tax experts today at 1-800-783-0810 and let us deal with the IRS while you focus on your business. That's 1-800-783-0810. Again, that's 800-783-0810.
Whether we realize it or not, everyone has been impacted by addiction. We all have family members, we all have friends that have faced this demon. But there's hope. There's hope in recovery. There's hope when we work together to rise above the plight of addiction. I'd like you to join Mac Mullings every Saturday from 2 to 4 p.m. on Rise Above Radio on KOKC 1520 AM, where they talk about the hope that is available to all of us.
First things first, I'ma say all the words inside my head. I'm fired up and tired of the way that things have been. Oh, ooh, the way that
All right, folks, welcome back to the program. Well, believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, we are just about out of time. This will conclude the fastest 3 hours in what I like to call grassroots talk radio, because we don't do it for the paycheck. We do it because we love you. This has been America Off the Rails. We are live right here every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday at varying times on KLRNradio.com. You can also catch the podcast version on Spreaker, Spotify, SoundCloud, Stitcher, FM Player, Google Play Music, iHeartRadio, and pretty much everywhere you can find a podcast. Interesting thing, when our chat room broke the other day and I was searching through the internet to try to find other chat providers, I started finding versions of our KLRN radio website in other languages in other countries. Apparently we have been mirrored without my consent, but I still thought it was pretty damn cool. So we'll be back with you guys tomorrow night. Thursday night is, of course, the double shot. We have Jen and Rick first at 10 p.m. Eastern, followed by yours truly at 11 p.m. Eastern, right here on KLRN Radio. That is going to do it for this particular episode, folks. Until I see you again, in the words of Bill S. Preston Esquire, remember, be excellent to each other. We'll see you guys tomorrow night.
your spirit to a dove, oh, ooh, your spirit up above, oh, ooh. I was choking in the ground, building my rain up in the clouds, falling like ashes. Screw you guys, I'm going home. Later. Game over, man. It's game over.